I was always, I was in that business world for 40 years. I was always amazed at how the incompetent can be awarded. It's called the Peter Principle. They were just there and kept stepping up the line. Not that they were
Yeah.
qualified, they just kept stepping up the line. And I remember where I was putting in a building. It was a triangle shaped layout, and
Okay.
it was for a Volkswagen receiving plant in New Orleans. We did the whole building, all the interiors and everything else, and they were getting ready to put the roadways on the outside, and they couldn't get them to fit between the railroad tracks and the building. It just didn't work out. They called a surveyor out. We put the building 108 feet in the wrong direction.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Never could put the roads to access the ports and all that. And if you couldn't access the ports, you couldn't use the building. It sat there for about 20 years. They used it for temporary loading and stuff like that. And I saw a while back from the satellite, it's gone. And there's no trace of it ever being there. So it's, but the guy that did this, he had been promoted to superintendent from truck driver. I don't think he really, I've always argued you didn't need a degree to be a superintendent, but you had to have some freaking smarts. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Well, we got a pretty good crowd coming in tonight, and we have 4 or 5 items on the agenda for this evening. So I'm looking forward to getting those in and those plugged in. Besides, we've got our main demonstrator, Lan Brady, is going to be with us. He's going to be doing spoons. And earlier in the evening, I moved my clock. I keep looking around for it. Earlier in the evening, we were talking to David Swain, turning wood on wood. Maybe you'll like this. I hear a lot from guys, I just can't do this with the lathe I have. Where do you see what David did?
Yeah, I've been
Remind me a
following
lot
him
of
on
a guy named
Facebook.
Johnny Green. Pardon me?
I've been following him on Facebook. Really amazed at the pictures he put out there.
I tell you what, I'm amazed at what he posted recently that he turned on this. I mean, the first thing we saw was what he turned, and I saw, and I've been a great follower of him. We've been posting his work on our gallery for a while now, and I'm always amazed what he turns. Tonight we're going to talk to him about it and see. I just look at this. Oh, he's in the box right now.
I'm sitting right here.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey, don't preview that toy.
I want to see that toy he put up there.
Right in front of me.
All right, we're gonna pop it up.
Love the colors.
How much plywood do you have in that?
Good evening, everyone.
About 3 4x3 sheets of 3/4 inch Argentine plywood.
Okay.
It's a hardwood plywood from Argentina. They build crates to ship chicken fat to Campbell's soup. And then they just throw the crates away. So I kind of wheeled and dealed and got one of the bosses to give me a stack of it and went to work on the lathe.
Pretty impressive.
I'm sure all the neighbor cats love your shit, love your lathe.
Well, my neighbors aren't too enthused with me, period.
Oh,
I hope
I'm
people
glad I
don't
only got
understand
3.
excellence.
They don't like my chainsaw at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Tell them to get up earlier and have another cup of coffee.
yeah, it's all.
No, I'm up at 5:30, and if I could get away with it, I'd be running the chainsaw at 5:30. But I think my
wrong with
police,
that. My neighbors won't complain.
mine will. I'd have the police chief
Oh.
here in about 30 seconds. And that'd be
Wow.
disturbing his coffee. But yeah, it's hard maple and plywood and a lot of stray parts I put together.
It looks great. It
Folks,
looks great.
I have a
Well
little
thought,
slide.
well engineered.
That's cool.
I have a little slideshow to present in a little while that shows you the progression of this thing. And it's all, he did all this, David, if I'm right, he did all this because a machine, manufactured and sold lathe quit on him. And he wasn't going to let that stop him. That's bottom line.
I wasn't going to get stuck again.
No.
I had 4 motors, 4 controllers, 3 quills, a spindle, and headstock bearings all go out in less than a year.
Wow.
And then they voided my warranty and told me they wouldn't send me any more parts because they demanded to have that lathe back. So I got all my money back, every penny. And I
That's
built
great.
this. And believe it or not, some of the parts are from Rikon. Got even money.
Well, they fit the trucks you have. You might as well keep them.
Well, they were all defective, and I found out what the problems were and fixed parts. And the controller had a cracked circuit board. I fixed that. And then the motor, it turns out their motors, they went a little too cheap on their specs. They used bearings with pressed in steel seals instead of neoprene. Well, those have little teeny slots to make them bend easier when they're installed. Well, when the grease gets good and hot after about 3 hours of running, the grease starts running out through the slots. And I had, matter of fact, this motor here froze up on me at about 2,500 RPM. The bearings just locked up. And so I took it apart, and when I discovered what was wrong, I called them and not so politely told them how stupid they were. And I started hunting for bearings, and I was able to find the bearings for the front and back of the motor and got it running again. So I figured it's mine. All the other parts, I managed to patch them all up and make them work. Yeah, they discontinued that lathe. And if you look at the parts page for a 220 VSR, they don't have any. Matter of fact, most of their lathes, they don't have any parts. So I just got tired of having to sit around for a month waiting on parts, sometimes longer than that. So I thought, you know what? I know how to do this. I'm just going to build one and make it what I want it to be for my kind of turning. It's got a 17-inch swing. With the chuck on it, it's 18.5 inches between centers. And my first demo piece that Eddie was talking about, I just posted it. It was an 8-inch out around blank, and I started it out at 975 RPM. And this thing didn't shake. It just sat there. So I'm happy.
That's great.
So I turned part of it one day, and then the next day I come out and finished it and posted it on the board. And I've still got guys telling me I'm crazy if I turn anything more than an ink pen on it because it's going to blow up and kill you. Ho ho. You
Can't pay attention to the haters.
Well, I've
You
got
know,
a big.
Them steel ones blow up all the time.
I've got a bigger motor coming for this and a steel banjo. This is just a fab together thing so I could start working with it. But I've got a steel banjo coming. I've got a 2 3/4 horse treadmill motor coming. A specially machined pulley for that motor. It's only 1.5 inches in diameter, so I can get the speed up. I want to be able to stay at 2,000, 2,500 RPM when I'm doing my beading. Because the D-Way tools work a lot better at $2,000 or a little better. But yeah, it's been fun. A lot of people keep asking me for plans. I didn't draw any. This was all built from a mental image I had in my head. And I started with the spindle and the 2 pillow blocks, and I just built around that. And if it looked right, it was right. That's the way I looked at it. But I just built it out of my head. I do that with all my machines. I've built drum sanders, thickness sanders and everything. I don't draw pictures. I already have a picture up here. But I spent 28 years as a master mechanic, and my mother says I got hold of a pair of pliers and a screwdriver when I was 2 years old and took my stroller apart. So I've always mechanically inclined. I did some machining, but mostly heavy equipment, stuff like that. So I know the stresses on the equipment. I can build for it. This thing, I've got half a gallon of tight bond in this thing.
I believe it.
All the plywood, every single layer is all glued together. I use power tip screws on all the plywood sides, hard maple for the bed rails. I got a piece of hickory for the banjo support. So it's not going anywhere. I made fancy hand wheels, but I like it.
It's a beautiful
I am
piece of work,
greatly
sir.
impressed.
Matter of fact, get this out of the way. I don't want to tear. I'm putting a new RPM controller on it. That's 975. It'll go down to 275 on this particular pulley. I turned the pulleys out of hard maple because I couldn't find any out of metal. 35 millimeter bore pulleys are actually kind of hard to get in aluminum. Everybody makes them out of steel with taper locks. But the old block bearings work good. They're rated for 5,500 RPM. And if I ever turn to dead speed, somebody lock me up. I turn fast, but I don't turn that fast. Fastest I've ever turned is 3,000. So, and that was on something small and thin. But no,
Well, David, in a little while we're going to join you again, and we've got the slides. We'll go
Okay.
through the slides and show folks just what this took to build up. That a whole lot of sweat and equity. It was in the basket. So,
wife says the alcohol bill's the biggest yet.
all right, David, we'll back visit with you in a little while, sir.
Okay,
All right.
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome.
Okay, folks. We're worldwidewoodturners.org, world's largest wood turning operation, and we enjoy visiting with you each and every Wednesday evening. It is absolutely free. There's no commitment, no obligation, no magazine, no gloves, no shoes, no hat. We got squat. You want a finance report? There it is. Came in, went that fast. We don't have that to worry about because we only gather here to turn wood. That's it. Now, if you want to get a hold of somebody, and every day I get a call, hey, can you give me a number for such and such? You can share your information. It's easy, but we do not have a memberships list. That's good and bad. It's good because there's no copying it and getting the robots to it. It's bad because you have to go through a little effort to get to it. Here you go. If you're a new member, put what you want to be listed in our contact list in chat right now. Just go to input. Hi, this is David Swain. I have a website. I do this, my phone number, my address, and any other contact you wish to give, your email address, whatever you wish to provide. And then our master webmaster, David, will go through our chat, extract that information before it gets posted online, extract that information and place it on a contact list. And then if you're looking for David, you just go to the contact list. Oh, yeah, look, there it is, right there. How do you get the list? Oh, that's even easier. On our website, contact, member list, then you fill out the form. It's going to ask you for a subject. The subject is Captain, Captain. But follow the rest of the directions exactly. Unclick the box and submit it. And just a moment or two later, you will get an email to the email address you provide. You will get an email that lets you have access to that member list. Now, it's not a live list. I'm saying not a live list. It doesn't have those little blue highlights with the address and the phone number and all that is. It's just a PDF list. You can do a copy and paste it in your email, or click on it on your cell phone. I got mine on my cell phone. Click on the thing, go right to it, then I can type it and put it in. So that's how you get to the contact list, and that's how you can use the contact list. Get involved. Put it in chat tonight, and Dave will be there. We get a crowd of folks coming in right now. 4 items on the agenda tonight. We got Lan Brady doing a demo on spoons. I have a nice video gallery to show you in a little while. We get in some fantastic art for the video gallery, and that goes into the newsletter and it goes into the website, so it's all shared around. And I've been taking the video gallery and posting it to the club website, club YouTube, and my YouTube. Now, if you'd like to get a copy of it and post it on your YouTube channel, I got no problem with that. It's advertising for the club. It lets folks know just what we do as Worldwide Woodturners. And also, I developed the promos. And the promos are maybe 2 minutes long. And it's got a little music, a little wordage, verbiage, and it's got photographs that you send us. Now, I try to do a promo every week, and that's based upon how many photographs I get. Well, I could do one tonight, tomorrow, and the next day, because, man, I'm bombarded this week. Well, just today, I probably got 20, 25 photographs in. So I want to see what you're turning. You can use this to show what you're turning and how good you're turning, ideas you may have. And remember, all this sparks. I saw that and I can make one. Or I saw that and I'd like to know how to make one. Well, on our gallery, their name is right there. So you can look to it. And there's no priority. No clicks, no priority. No. Everybody gets an equal shot, equal chance, equal presentation. Everybody. Send me multiple photographs. I mean, I got from Dane Chandler, I got almost 10 photographs on one project because he wanted to show the different aspects of it, how it's split, where the hole is and such. It's a birdhouse. It's beautiful, beautiful piece. Great terrain match too, Dane. But he sent that to me. I get photographs from, I got them in today from Billy Dillard. I know Billy's in with us tonight. Billy is really good because he'll show us the elevation, the profile, and the bottom of the piece that he turns. And so do some other folks. They send them on. I mean, Brenda sends me photographs. When Brenda loads me down, my hard drive kind of hurts a little bit. So send in the information. We really like it. More than that, I'm going to put the burden on you here. Said there was no commitment. More than that, we have started a new program called Tips and Tricks. Tips and Tricks. We all have an idea or a shortcut or a way to do something a little bit better or a way just to do something. My rule is if you can hold it, you can turn it. That's all there is to it. If you can hold it, you can turn it. You got 2 points to work with. What are you going to do? Well, let's look at what are you going to do. Now, last week I did the first tips and tricks. It was too long and it went too fast. All right, so I learned. And I had a shorter version already edited, but when I punched it up, somebody muted me and it was gone. I couldn't find it where I put it on my hard drive. But tonight, we're back with the revised version of something else, but I'm waiting on you. The whole drag on this was, I'm waiting on you. Produce a tip or a trick. If you can't do that, and you can do this, it's so complicated. You can do it right here. Well, not my phone, your phone. You can do it on your iPhone, your Android, whatever you call it. You can film this little piece. Remember, it has to be star-studded. You don't need a Cecil B. DeMille direction or anything else. All you need to do is show us how you do something or what you do, how it's safe. First Sergeant wants to see your shops. Yeah. Doug Rowe, good friend of mine, our First Sergeant. Well, he's not First Sergeant anymore. Whatever, we'll call him that. He wants to see your workshops. Yeah. How did you store stuff? Where you put things? How do you access it? Do you have a rig? I mean, like Matt Harbor showed us how he made the supports for his cameras. Now, that's important if you want to do demos. How do you hold the cameras? What do you do with them? I mean, one of my shop cameras is right here because I'm testing how to get the information off of it a little bit easier than it has been. 3 hours for it to download was ridiculous. Now I find out it's got a freaking card I can pull out. But hey, if you read the directions, it'd be really good. All right, share your tips and tricks. I know you have one. I'd like to see it. Is Dane in the house yet with us tonight? Don't know. Let me look through here. No, I don't see Dane up on oh, I think he might be on the road this week.
I wore him out earlier on a test Zoom.
He was in a UK meeting earlier today, so he's definitely home.
Yeah,
Okay.
he said he might be on in a bit. All right, Billy.
Hi. Chris is still awake. Young guy.
Yeah, I'm still awake, mate.
Hi, Billy.
Pleasure to meet everybody.
Oh, he's drinking coffee though.
Hello there.
Chris.
At what, 2 o'clock in the morning, Chris?
No, it's actually 20 past 11.
Okay.
Time change we got. It helped him.
Hey,
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that maybe. Doug Rose, the
Word is
happiest
mouth.
army guy on the face of the earth when they changed that.
yeah,
I told you it'd be here.
hey, Chris, what's
James.
happening?
Hey,
What's
Chris.
happening?
Hey,
Right,
Dave.
kid.
Cage,
Mr.
with us,
Peter.
that's Cash. Cage, you don't know it, that's Cash's daddy.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Cade.
Katie. I started calling him Katie. Katie, Cash's daddy.
Yeah.
KD.
I lost Kate that quick almost. My list.
Are you demoing Katie today?
No, not yet. No.
Just did you were in a meeting today, were you?
No, I missed the meeting. I was watching Cash and doing some stuff around the house today. But
Cool.
Daddy duties.
yeah, pretty much.
Hey, Eddie, can you get me set up for co-host?
I was in my backpack.
I got you set, Dane. I gotta take a look and see if it
There we
took
go.
again. I did it a few minutes ago.
Yep.
Yes, it's on there.
It's set. Dave. Hey, James.
Hey, another.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
The ganging up on us today. Time
That's
change.
okay.
Time change. That's
The
what it is.
Brits are invading.
We're having the British invasion.
Yeah, only
That's
because
quite all right.
Hey,
Very.
everything bad comes in threes.
Yeah, right?
No 4 around somewhere, really.
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm keeping my eye on you all.
Oh, silent but violent.
There he is. There's the ringleader.
I'm watching you.
Martin Clarkson's got a good extension to his lathe to show you later.
Yes, he does. And specifically from, yeah,
My eyes
yeah,
just went from earlier.
had to,
Goodness.
had to mute my response.
Comes under the tips and tricks section, Eddie. Captain Eddie comes under the tips and tricks section. We'll leave it till the end. They'll have fallen
Yes.
asleep by then.
We'll do it early tonight, okay?
It'll be worth the price of admission.
Yeah. It comes.
Eddie, I got a request / favor to throw out to the group.
Uh-oh, look,
Uh-oh.
he's driving.
So I am doing my retirement ceremony on April 23rd. I'm going to have my son Facebook it live on my Facebook thing. So anybody that's friends with me on Facebook can watch. If possible, if one of you pen makers, because I am definitely not a pen maker, would like to request a purple pen, I don't care what it's made out of, as long as the pen is purple, with blue ink. Yes, I did say blue. Here's what I'm using it for. Our 2-star general is General Muhlenbeck. She's in charge of the entire Arizona National Guard, both Army and Air. She happens to be Air. Arizona is adopting a new program for our soldiers and airmen called Purple Resolve that she approved for our state to take in. It's our newest attack on mental health in the military. A few states have already started using it, and she looked into it. I actually went to a conference with her to look at the program, and I gave her my feedback on it. I really like the program. I think it's got a lot of great potential. Anyway, the program's called Purple Resolve. So on my way out the door, I would like to give her a purple pen because she's Air Force. I'd like it to have blue ink. If anybody could make me one of those and send it to me before April 23rd, I'll trade you. I'll make you a colored pencil blank, whatever. I'll send you some, I don't know, whatever kind of wood that I got that you want, whatever. I just don't know how to make pens.
Do you want it made out of Purple Heart, or do you want it an acrylic?
As long as it's purple, that's all I care about.
Just purple, nothing else, just purple.
Yeah, I don't care what it's made out of.
The only problem with Purple Heart is it has a tendency not to stay purple.
Right.
Brown.
For the purple, you want it to be matching like the shade of a Purple Heart?
The bright purple.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the program's logo is just kind of a normal looking purple. It's nothing like crazy or anything. It's just purple.
Barney purple?
Any purple, yeah.
Barney purple.
Barney, yeah, Barney purple. There you go. Call it Barney purple. That would work. The color of Barney.
I'd have it lasered in etch as well.
Say again.
Have it lasered in a name.
Yeah.
Have a name lasered in. Sorry, I'm
driving, so he's breaking up.
Laser it. To personalize it.
Yeah.
Doug, why don't you put that general's name in our chat? In case
Okay, I can do
somebody,
that.
one of these woodturners goes absolutely nuts and wants to engrave the side of it.
Okay, I'm driving right now, and these people are inconsiderate. I start texting, they put their brakes on. So we'll have to wait till I get stopped.
That's no problem. It'll be there tonight. We save the chat before we go home.
Male or female general?
She's female.
Okay. So,
And she even identifies as that too.
I mean, as far when you make a when you make a pen though, a pen is like kind of gender. You know, when you make it, you kind of make it for a woman by the style and all of that.
Yeah, she's definitely a woman, and kind of more petite hands. So yes, I get what you're asking. Yeah. definitely.
So you don't want a binary pen?
Say again.
No binary pen.
Binary pen.
All right, Doug, we're going to go to work on it for you. I think this crowd will come through in a heartbeat. I heard some pretty good.
You're liable to end up with 35 of them.
Or
That's what I
40,
was thinking.
50.
Yeah.
You
No,
know, there's
there's
nothing
only-
wrong with having too many. Nothing wrong with having too many.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Crap,
That's all right. If you use a pen, I don't.
Yeah. And we got some good pen makers, pen turners out there in our group. I mean, I'm looking at 4 or 5 of them right here on a preview screen. I've received a lot of Freedom pens, and they've turned a lot of pens. I got a box of 25 or 30, and last weekend I passed them out to the troops at the, I want to say, Blue Angels. Yeah. I'll get the, I want to say Thunderbirds, but that's a different group. But it's the Blue Angels that were there. It was a great show, but I passed them out to the active troops who were there. A lot of those folks are reservists, but they've been on full-time duty for a couple of them up to 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's the way the world is right now. We better have our guard up. We really should. We never should let it down, but we should keep it up and sharp.
Yep.
Because America can take care of just about anything. We need to take care of America. Enough. Put my soapbox away. I'm putting it away. That's how I feel about it. That's it.
Get political if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets political too fast.
I don't want to
So
whatever
whatever the time zone changes for you guys. So for me, it's 4:30 out here in Arizona. So 10 o'clock Arizona time, 10 a.m. Arizona time, April 23rd. That's when I'm going to do my ceremony, and I'm like I said, I'm going to have my son holding the phone up, doing the Facebook Live thing. So any of you that are able to catch it, I'd sure love to have you there. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll tune in, Doug.
I sure appreciate it.
You bet. Got it wrote down.
Yep.
All righty.
Doug, your video's fading on us. So, but that's okay. We're still here for you, bud.
Yeah. I don't think he'd stop in the middle of the highway to text us, talk
All
to
right.
us.
Well, we'll get it. That's Doug Rowe. We'll get it. The scary part is, what will he do when he retires? We know what he did.
Maybe I'll learn how to make a pen.
All right. Hey, that's a program. If you go down to Dane's
out of a
place, he'll
pumpkin.
teach you.
They'll probably make pens out of pencils.
You might make a pen out of a pumpkin now.
There we go.
Do it while he's wearing a
Best.
bikini.
There's Doug Miller.
Howdy.
Hi, Doug.
Hey, Dad.
Here. Hope everybody's doing well tonight.
We think so.
No
It's-
complaints.
Captain, how close were you to them storms?
About 5 miles north of where it hit.
Oh my.
That's too close.
Oh yeah, I watched. I didn't know it was windy here, and that's all I can say. It was windy, and a lot of noise from the metal building next door rattling, and my shop's trash going across the yard and stuff like that. At about 11 o'clock, 11:15, my wife went to bed, and I'm allowed to go to the news after she leaves the room. And I went to Roku and watched a repeat of the local news. I didn't believe what I saw. And then this morning, when the sun came up and they flew over it with drones, that really scares you. Ronnie and I were talking earlier today. It's unbelievable the damage that one of those storms can go through. I think they said it was an EF3, but why number it? It kicked butt. It really did, and it breaks my heart. The area it hit, is just bouncing back from Katrina, and they took a big hit on Ada, and now this, they'll be moving. They'll get pack up and get out. It's a shame, it really is. But enough of that. Turned a little bit this week. Hope y'all turn something this week. If you got something you want to show that's on gallery that you would like to add to gallery, we can do so. It's coming up on the bottom of the first hour. My wife popped in a few minutes ago, and she just stuck her head in the door. She says, "What the hell is this? You're not supposed to start until 7 o'clock. You're supposed to end at 9 o'clock." You see, y'all do this to me. It gets me in the jam. But, you know, I don't know of anything better than sitting on the tailgate of the pickup truck talking to my wood turning friends. Yeah, really. That's what we're doing.
You can always blame it on Trace. Tell your missus that he paid for the extra hours.
Right?
Boy, you know, Billy sells his stuff at craft fair and craft shows. I got a word that pretty soon he'll make enough money to actually buy a razor.
Hey, Eddie, my wife came up with a new name for the group, the Loyal Order of the Woodchucks.
The what?
Loyal Order of the Woodchucks. She told me, "Hey, Tim, you're going to be late for your meeting with the Loyal Order of the Woodchucks. So you need to get your dinner and get out there."
Okay, Loyal Order of the Woodchucks. You know, there might be some ID tags for you guys.
Can't use the Possum Lodge. That one's already used. Wait a minute. What was Ralph Cramden? He was a Royal Order or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, they all were. I mean, Fred Flintstone was a Royal Order or something.
He's a water buffalo.
Yeah, the water buffalo. Have you noticed that Fred Flintstone copied the Honeymooners almost episode for episode?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah. I know of a family who's got their children homeschooled, very restricted from what they see on television. Fred Flintstone was permitted, and so was Andy Griffith. In fact, Andy Griffith was the weekly program at their son's Bible study. Every week, there was an Andy Griffith program. Why? Because no matter what, Andy made it right.
Yeah, these days we need more Andy Griffith and less violence.
Sure do.
We need Bob Felder.
I don't think Andy Griffith show would sell anymore, though.
Sadly, you got a point there.
It's on every day.
Anybody watch him in today's society? Me and the missus did. 254
It'd be hard
episodes.
to squeeze a rap song in there for Opie to go skipping down the road.
Throwing a rock, instead of throwing a rock across the pond, to be throwing a little teardrop grenade, you know.
Yeah, right.
Or lead.
Snowflake.
Dane, you copying down names. I think you got some gallery lined up.
Yeah, I've got a list here. I'm writing names as we talk here.
All right, folks, if you want to show something in the gallery, all you have to do, it's that simple. Dane is our gallery master. Put what you like to put. I have something to show. James Cassidy just did that. He's in the UK. He put a note in there. I have something to show. So Dane just put James's list. James, whatever.
On the list.
Eddie.
We got it.
Who's in there? Is that Brenda?
No, that was Sue.
Sue. There she is.
Hey, Miss Sue.
Hiya. Hi, Eddie. So you said you turned something. What did you turn?
I've been playing with some small items. Here's one right here. I gotta switch off that, switch over to this. Okay, this is a business card holder. For if you're doing your your display, your shows at a craft fair or whatever, that's where you stick in your cards from the to take one of your cards, and it is it's cut with a hole saw and then turned. And this was such a pretty piece of wood I found, so I turned that out.
That's
Very-
nice.
Very nice.
And it's heavy. It won't flip over from a slight breeze. And if you've done these shows like so many of y'all have, you'll know if you put a stack of cards on a table, about 30 seconds later, a breeze comes along and spreads your business cards everywhere. Not as a customer. So it's just the thing. It's fun. I want to do a project on that because it's a simple project. The layout, well, you got to follow the directions. And if you do it by the layout, the turning is easy. The finishing is the most critical part because if you get your toys to pop, I mean, that thing can be made out of pine. And if you get it cut right and sand it right, boy, it'll pop right out and show it to you. And I love that. I've been seeing some beautiful 2x4 work in our gallery in the last couple of weeks, really. Let's go to UK. Is that where we're heading right now, Dane?
Well, we can.
I thought James popped up because he was going to show something, but
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do our friends from across the pond.
there he is.
That would go to sleep, huh?
Yeah, no, not going to sleep this time. It's early so far. Hi all. This is a hollowed form made out of chestnut.
Ooh,
Beautiful.
Black lid.
That's James. Very
that's
nice.
pretty.
That's really pretty.
Very nice.
Then we have a candle holder made out of yew.
Oh my.
Well, that's
Wow.
gorgeous.
Yeah, that's a pretty piece.
Wow.
What
What
kind of
finish?
finish on it?
Tiny.
Then we have another piece of yew.
James, what would that gloss finished with lacquer?
It's melamine lacquer, yes. Again, it's another piece of yew with the top.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Nice.
Very nice.
That's
Beautiful.
gorgeous work.
Last piece is just this.
James has been busy.
ornamental thing.
Yeah.
Wow. What kind of wood is that?
It's oak.
Oak.
Yeah, so it's actually it's two. I made it out of two pieces so I could get that the grain effects on both sides.
Nice.
James, did you ebonize that at all, or was that natural color?
That's it's coloured with Hampshire Sheen's intrinsic colours.
Cool.
Very nice.
Nice job, James.
Good.
That is some beautiful work, James. Thank you, sir.
Yes, that's very good. Gorgeous wood too.
Definitely.
And
All
the
right,
British
well,
invasion is on tonight
keep it
because we
rolling
have
here.
about 10 of them in here.
Let's go to Chris.
Who's up next, Dane?
Chris
Right,
is.
There's Chris.
Right, this is my first time on this one, so I've only been turning for 2 years. So I did about
That's nice.
Good deal. Nice wood.
Oh, nice. Nice.
What do you see in there, Brenda?
Sweet. I didn't see
Yeah,
much.
that's nice. It'll hold cereal even.
Very nice.
That's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah,
right,
no funnels.
and
Oh, nice.
Oh, very nice.
That's
Pretty
nice.
platter.
Mike?
That's
Chris,
pretty.
is that
I
you?
like the detail on the rim.
Chris,
I
is
do
that
too. That's pretty beadwork. Yeah.
no, that's just one piece.
What type of wood?
I think it's oak. I'm not sure. It's oak. One my stack. So yeah.
Very nice.
Love that shine.
Yeah, it's got nice character in it.
I was at my local Zoom every week Wednesdays, and somebody asked me to see if I said I was going to make a rolling pin, so I did.
Oh,
Great.
Cool.
Very good.
That's really pretty.
that is nice.
And that's
How
my
many
first
pieces?
attempt. And that's my first attempt.
Beautiful.
So,
Absolutely wonderful.
thank you.
Good
Wow.
job, Chris.
Wow.
Beautiful work, Chris.
Yeah,
Beautiful
great
work.
work, Chris.
Thank you. Right, guys, I'm going to say good night because I'm going to my bed.
All right.
Nice meeting you. Thank you.
Bye.
See you later, buddy.
Chris.
If it's not too late next week, I'll come on next week as well.
Next
Next
week,
week,
Chris.
that was great. Thank
Or
you.
is there enough room for you?
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
You
we'll
too.
see you
You
later.
too.
All right. Well, let's.
A lot
let's go to-
a lot of folks from the UK this week. Great to see them. I received a photograph from a guy from Greece who's is doing work with or working with us or turning with us. I got another one from a fellow named Fran Pandung. Don't know where he's from, but I don't think it's Brooklyn. And I have 2 other brand new international members this week. So we welcome all of y'all. Well, seems like we're growing worldwide. Who's up next for gallery?
Well, Gerald Avery is. Gerald, talk to us.
Avery.
Hey, I've got
There
a
he
bottle
is.
stopper to give you guys a look at.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's sort of be like a Christmas tree. Interesting thing is, I know you won't be able to tell very well from there, but that's one continuous thread cut from the bottom all the way to the point.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Did you
16
do that
thread
with your
per
skew?
inch.
Did you do that with your skew?
No, I actually did it with a 60-degree router bit in the headstock, and I was holding this with a 16 thread per inch shaft and turning it. And as it advanced away from the cutter, it made one continuous thread cut.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Leftover
Neat
metal
idea.
type things.
Nice.
Very nice.
Good idea.
Anytime I
Good
try to do
idea.
that, it's with a skew and it's a catch.
Cheat with a router, it's easier.
It's not predictable.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
right
know
on.
my skew don't give me 16 threads an inch.
But one thing you don't want to do is you would not want to push that down on the top of a bottle.
Yeah.
It's a sharp point.
Oh, come on.
Why would you cork a bottle if it's got something in it?
Good point.
Right.
There you go.
Thank you, Gerald.
Thanks, Gerald.
Thank you.
Nice job.
All right, let's go to
Beautiful work.
Bob. Hey, Bob.
There he is, Bob in Texas.
Oh, you muted, Bob.
Hear you, Bob. Bob.
Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Again. How about that?
There you
There
are.
you go.
I think that works. Yep, I am still in the spirals. This is a segmented base out of pine, 2x4 club.
Whoa.
And I made
That's a
a
big
top for it.
pine.
Wow. What a, that's incredible.
That really sets it off.
Yep, nice job, Bob.
Yeah, it's good looking, Bob. Real pretty.
Very nice.
That is nice.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
That's a lot of work.
Wow.
Yeah, that takes more patience than I've got.
It really wasn't that bad. You know, the longest part is trying to sand it out after you get the spirals in.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
But it turned out great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that it did. Thank you.
Beautiful, Bob.
Beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's go to Charlie.
Charlie, you with us?
It's got just a 8-inch by 4-inch deep bowl this time.
There you go.
There it is.
It's like a bug in there.
Nice.
Looks like it's actually, if you look at it that way, it's a Burt 80.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice. I like that.
That was all I got this week.
All right, Charlie. Thank
Nothing
you.
else
Charlie.
is finished. Thank
Nice
you.
job.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Randy Smith. Hey, Randy, what's your idea?
This is not even remotely wood turning, but it's an idea prompter. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. It's a wine bottle I got. And on the bottom, there is embossed, this is called Cote de Roses. And on the bottom, there's actually a rose embossed in the bottom. There's an idea for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
Ornamental work
Just
there.
don't,
All right.
just don't start that work until you finish the bottle.
Yeah, I don't have an ornamental engine. That leaves me out.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't
All
either.
right, let's go to Robert Clark.
Hey.
Hey, Robert. You're
Robert,
muted.
you're muted, sir.
Sir,
You're muted, bud.
There you
now
are.
you can hear
There
me.
you go.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, Matt Harbour demonstrated his tool with the double-ended ball end mill, and he made a goblet. And I finally got the ball end mill in, and that thing actually works really well. I love that thing. So you have an endorsement there, Matt. Anyway, he turned a goblet, and I had never turned a goblet in 20 years of turning. So just yesterday, I made my first goblet. So
Yikes.
Nailed it.
Beautiful.
That is nice.
And with that tool, I mean, making a real thin wall was no problem at all. I was very impressed, Matt, and thank you for that tip. So I just took that off the lathe this morning, and my wife looked at it and said she doesn't think it'll hold enough wine. And, well,
Keep refilling it.
I guess
Yeah.
married to me for 47 years makes her want to drink more wine, I guess. I don't know why. Anyway,
Keep the bottle
so-
close, right?
yeah. So that's my first
Very nice.
goblet.
And a great first it is, Robert.
Nice
And you know,
job.
you get
No, very
I
good.
got stuck in a rut because I was earning platters and other things. I hadn't been doing any spindle turning, and so it was kind of nice to get back in and learn all those skills all over again, because
Yep.
you know, it was all of a sudden, it's like, how come the tool is skating that way? Because I haven't used a spindle gouge in years. So anyway, I also have another thing to share. I saw this on the internet, and I don't know who, I'd like to remember who it was so I could give him credit for it, but I can't. And it's kind of a twist on Captain Eddie's soft touch. The guy took a cane tip, and you buy a box of these at Home Depot for $2.58, and you get 4 of them. And he put it on the end of his live center, and it works perfectly. And I thought about it, and it sharp edges here on the live center. I thought it might cut the rubber. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but I took a little large area washer and I just stuffed it in the end there so that it gave it a solid thing to bite on. And that really works well. I used it to make a ball this weekend, and I used it again when I turned this thing. And it was so simple. Why didn't I think of that? And it's, when that thing wears out, I got 4 more before I have to spend another $2.58.
Number one tip of the week.
I even took the original, with my small lathe, the original live center that came with it. I said, I wonder if it fits on there. And it fits on there.
Pretty much
So,
standard.
It's a simple little twist to the soft touch, and it works really well. I've got the tap, and I've done that before, and I just thought this was just so simple of an idea that I had to try it.
Robert, we're going to put that down as tips and tricks.
Okay, if you want, I can put together some pictures and show how it works.
That would be very nice.
Okay,
That's
I'll
a
get it out to
great
you by
idea.
next week.
Great idea. Great.
I
I'm
wish it was
headed to
my
Home
idea.
Depot.
Yeah. I wish it was my idea. I really do. I was like, damn.
Well, that's what we're here for, to share ideas. If not ours, just any idea that we can help with wood turning. That's why we do this.
One of the thing I can show, I had some scrap wood laying around, and I had another tool that I hadn't used in ever. I had bought one of those Wagner texturing tools, and I messed around with it, and I thought, that would make a good acorn top. I had a piece of purple heart and I made an acorn top. Then I made an acorn bottom, and I went out to my grapevines and I broke off a piece of grapevine and put it on the top. I just made an acorn. So I think in the future I'm gonna make some bigger ones, but I thought that was kind of cool, and it took me about an hour to make that stupid thing. So
Good idea.
All right.
Very nice.
Very
All right. Hey, if you wonder what to do with the rest of that Purple Heart, and we see it in the chat right now, Doug Rowe, our first Sergeant Doug Rowe, is collecting a purple pen with blue ink to give to a general that's in charge of a project that he's worked on. So we're looking for those. It's in the chat tonight. So it's correct. Folks said, is it Doug Rowe? Yes, it's Doug. And if you do a purple pen, send it on to Doug. And with blue ink.
With blue ink.
One of the things. Because the general lady happens to be, or the lady general, happens to be Air Force.
Air Force.
And as Doug jokes about it, Army uses black ink, the Air Force uses blue ink. And only because the bus company insists we do that. All right, who's up next with that, Dane?
Well, we got Billy. Billy.
Oh, don't wake him up.
I forgot to shave. I forgot to shave. Look, I did a little bit of turning. I did another live edge bowl. I tried to do a finish like Cade, but I didn't quite get there with it. But I think I'll need more like 20 more coats. But
What
it
is
turned
that
out
that
fairly thin.
what
But
do
it's sweet gum, and it's got tongue oil finish on it, and it's 7x3.
Gorgeous.
That's
beautiful.
I think that's my last blank I had for live edge. So I gotta go find some more wood. It turned out really well.
Do you have on there?
There's about 6.
Okay.
It's got some real pretty figure on the bottom. You know, the piece of wood looked almost like you didn't want to mess with it when I started turning it, because it had a lot of voids in it, but it turned out really well. The bark stayed on really well.
Yeah.
It was cut in the winter time, so that helped. But that's as close as I can get to. That's as close as I can get to a Cade finish.
Give it a
I think
twist.
the finish is great.
I think it's great myself.
That picture over. I see an upside down guinea pig.
I'm sure you can see something in there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got pretty grain to it.
Durable.
Thank
That's
you,
all I
Billy.
have.
That's some
All
pretty
right.
work.
All right,
Who
let's
else
go
do we have, Dane?
back to Texas. And we're
Who's in
looking
Texas?
Well, there's a lot of guys and gals down there in Texas tonight, but we want Terry.
There he is.
You're muted. You're muted, bud.
Now we lost his image. There we go.
Can't hear you, Terry.
Still muted.
Still muted.
No picture again. Terry, come back.
Okay,
There you are.
There we go. I don't know what happened. I lost the whole top bar. Anyway, now that we got through that, I was out playing around with some mesquite and decided to make some platters out of a crotch. I think you can see it pretty good.
Ooh.
This one is about 14 inches. And
Nice.
it's really
That's
nice.
very nice.
Here's
That's
other
pretty
things
good.
that I decided-
That's beautiful. Gorgeous.
I decided this mesquite, I love it. There's other things I play with, but I really like mesquite. And then that one's about 14 inches. And this is the other half of that crotch. It's about 15 inches.
Nice.
You
That's
see it?
gorgeous work.
It's got a lot of color to it.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Love mesquite.
Boy, that's beautiful.
And
Man. Beautiful.
they came out pretty good.
Love that flame
I
figure in
actually
it.
just dug them out of the chips this morning. This is one that I did before. And it had a lot of worm hairs in it and stuff, and I filled it with inlays. And it came out pretty nice. But that's, you can tell the difference. This stuff changes color. This is so much darker than the other ones that I did today. But every tree seems to be different.
Yep.
And one thing I was going to talk about, a little tricks and tips. whenever I turn a flat piece or a bowl that's not natural edge, I always start between center. I usually just take the flat side of it and lay it up against a chuck and then lay the center into it, put the center in it where I want it and get it laid out the way I want it. And then I cut a tendon on the bottom and turn it around and turn the inside. And then when I'm done, or turn the outside, when I'm done with the outside, I got a piece of plywood. This one's like 14 inches, 13. And I drilled a Forstner hole saw bit and put a 2 1/4 inch hole in it, which fits on my chuck. And then I just glue a piece of heavy-duty shelf paper on it and some contact cement. And I turn all my platters and everything. I go back to turn the bottom and I just lay it up against it and put the center on it. And I can turn the bottom out. And I got a bigger one, but I use these all the time. They really work nice. Just leave you already got the center because I started it between centers. So I've already got the dimple in the middle, and then just stick it on there and then I can finish the bottom. And that works really nice. And this is the last piece I done. This is a piece of ash that we got. I got a bunch of it and it's got a lot of burl and figuring in it, but it's all near the edge. And I couldn't figure out how to make the bowls without cutting it away. So the bark is on the bottom of this one. So you can see where it came through, but this isn't finished, but I just got 1 coat of tung oil on it. I'll do some more work to it, but it's got so much figuring in it. It's really pretty.
Yeah, lovely figure. You're right.
Beautiful.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
And I think that's about taking up enough of your time.
Oh,
I
no
thought
worries.
everybody liked to see it.
No problems, no problems.
Thanks for
You're not
sharing.
taking up our time, Terry. In fact, you did exactly what we asked of folks, and you're sharing tips and tricks. And that's what we would like to do, share tips. We started this whole program with the idea that we would get together and share ideas. Tips and tricks is just a bona fide way of sharing ideas. So if you've got one, you can share with us. You can produce it. You can send me photographs with an explanation. We'll put it together for you in a slideshow or a YouTube show or whatever, because we want to see more and more of what you do to make your wood turning or your shop a little bit better. And with that, I gotta quit looking around for my clock. It's right there. I have a video on an idea that I would like to share with you. So right now, let me pop up the right one. And this is tips. And we're going to do that.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Boom.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, Captain Ed here for Tips and Tricks. Last week we produced the first tips and tricks, and I ran a little long and went a little bit fast. Well, this time we're not going to go as long or as fast because we're going to cover one topic. We're talking about turning finials. Now, finials are a fun little piece. I mean, it doesn't matter what, whoop, there you go. Doesn't matter what shape you make them. Matters is how you hold them. Turning them and turning them. Let's take a look at that. Now for this tips and trick, I'm going to hold on to a finial I already have turned, and I put it in my Jacob's chuck, which is on my headstock, number 2. All right, now I want to be able to hold this steady, and that is hold it so that it won't get a wobble. I mean, there we go. It's running pretty true right now, right? Okay, now it's not as thin as some can be, but I want to keep this end from wobbling too much when I go in to take my final cuts, because that'll add a ripple. So I want to steady it. Okay, I want to show you one version of a steady rest. And I said one version because if I showed you all of them, you might be spinning. I'm going to start by popping out my tailstock. I'd set this up to do a different demonstration. And when I sat here, I said, you know what else I could do this? Well, no, I can't do that today. Put my tailstock down on my lathe diaper. Now, what I'm putting in here, this is number 3 Morse taper with the number 2 stuck in it. Didn't have the right one.
And I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But I'm going to bring up my tailstock, and I'm going to put that in. Now, it doesn't have to be real tight, but if you like to snug it up a little bit, go ahead. But remember, too much pressure on a Morse taper can do damage. Now, what is this? Take a look at this. I built this in 1999 when I went to a class with Ellie Eversara. It was made to hold barbels and spindles. This is a simple device. Now, I have it on a sort of a screw chuck type thing with a Morse taper on it. You don't have to do that. More about that in a minute. But, okay, this is just a hollowed out piece. It's probably a hollowed out inch and a half. Well, actually, inch and 5/8. So, I have it hollowed out like that, and I have 4 finished nails spaced on it. If you don't get the spacing exactly right, it's okay. Now, I'm going to bring this up to where my finial is, the one I want to hold. And then I've got a little knot on one end to get a start. And I'm going to go around and go around the piece and then come back with very little pressure. Now, I'm going to do this loop thing. It's not complicated. I'm going to go over this side, then come back, go over it again. All right, I'm going to get on this nail, drop over to here, get this one, go over the top. You're following this, right? Okay, then go around that nail, wrong way, around that nail, go under the bottom and come over the top of this one. Now, essentially what I'm doing is weaving this finial into a knot, but not really a knot. I'm grabbing it with fibers from all around, and that is this piece of, it can't be nylon line. It has to be sisal or broderie or whatever. It can't be nylon. That'll burn right through this wood. Now, once I get it there, I'm just going to cinch it off. Now, my deal is, I used to put a couple of loops on it, then put a fast knot on it, and I'm done. Now, all I do is want to keep it from unraveling. And don't let this get into your chuck or whatever. So if you need to snip it off, snip it off. You need to tie it back here, tie it back here. But now, wait, I missed a part. Once I have this done, I want to put a little dab of wax right there. That can be the yellow can wax we used to do floors with. Can't think of the name of it. Or a little candle wax, whatever. Just a little wax for lubrication. Now, my spindle is being held in the span of these strings. Being held there. I put a little pressure on it, it won't move side to side. So I can make some clean cuts, some clean wipes or whatever I have to do. I can even use this after I've made it real long, and then I thought, I didn't put the finish on it. Now what do? Here it is. You can finish a little bit on the tip, and before you go down the rest of the body, bring the string steady up and work yourself on down the body. I get a little flat spot in this crown. I can now, with my skew, roll out that flat spot ever so gently, bring it to a curve. If it hits a flat spot, light's going to hit it, it's going to go googly. So that's a simple, steady rest. Okay, shut down the lathe. Now, if you don't have an adapter like this, build your piece. Turn your own Morse tenon. You can get the directions for this and the measurements and all that off the internet if you choose to, or you just get out your own Morse taper, just like this. You measure the length, A, the B, and you turn it and keep it flat. Do not finish it. Do not wax it. Do not oil it. Don't buff it. Leave it raw wood. When it goes in, it'll freeze up. It'll push out. You have the right length to make it push back out. Okay. And that's a simple way to build them. Morse tapers are a great way to go. This pops out real easy. It didn't take a lot of mechanical to put it in. Slipped in, put the strings around it. Now I said there's hundreds of versions. Some are plywood disc
with a hole in them you can set up and it bounces onto your onto your bed stock, and you do the same thing with the strings. Other ones mount into get all this, the tool rest to steady it. I can't understand those. I don't have a spare tool rest. But that's how you build the string steady. Another one of those tips and tricks right here, worldwidewoodturners.org. And remember, you can always submit your tip or trick, and we'll use it each week. Thank you. Take care. And oh, yeah, by the way, be safe.
Very good.
Good job, Eddie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Ed.
I like that.
Great idea.
Yeah, I picked it up from Ellie Eversara, and he does those barbels, and had one that was probably a foot long that he could reach down on those barbels to do, and it was a perfect holding thing. And I had to go way back in my library to find the photographs on that, and then you won't believe what I went through to find the actual one. But it held up. It had been underwater for a little while, and it still held up. But give it a try if you're going to do that. Now, I did say that's one of about probably 1,000 different ways to make a steady rest or a string steady or whatever. If you have an idea, you have a way to do it, we want to know about it, really. All right. It's 7:07. That's Central Time. And we've got a demonstration tonight. We also have a gallery coming up after the demonstration. I'm going to have to check off some things we have here tonight. And let me see, I did the tips. And right now, Lan Brady is going to be with us. He's going to demonstrate some spoons. This was set up by Dane, our demonstration master. And look, you know, we talk about that sometimes about who does what. You know, there's an opening. There's an opening right now. The pay is really good, and auditions are that fast. If you'd like to help, let us know. But for right now, let's head to Lan Brady. Lan, are you with us? There he is.
I'm here.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, sir.
Yay. Well, I've had to make a few last minute changes. It's storming here, so you'll see me looking away from the camera because I've had to move my computer screen inside, and it did change my demo a little. We're going to make a scoop instead of a spoon.
Okay.
The spoon required me to use my bandsaw, which I can't get to because the garage door's closed. So I don't guess anybody else has a small shop like this, right?
No, I think a lot of us
anyhow,
do.
the stuff I make is mostly treenware. And if you're not familiar with that, it just simply means from the tree, which every one of us do that, whether we admit it or not. And one of the things that's required for making utility kitchen type things is you've got to work with the grain of the wood. You need to, well, if I can show you a picture of what I'm talking about. Hold on. Well, what I do is I start with the log like everybody else does. And you can see there I've got a froe and a mallet. And the first thing I do is I have to split it, the wood, right along the pith, which gives me 4 quarters. And you can see this one wasn't centered, so we're going to have different size pieces when you go to splitting it. And then when I get through, I have a 4-inch blank, a 3-inch blank, a 2-inch blank, and then those 2 that are pie-shaped, I can still get a couple of 2.5-inch pieces that will have both heartwood and sapwood. And if you look at the ground, I'm left over with 3 pieces of firewood. So everything goes to good use. So here's the tools I'll be using tonight. I'll start with the rough and gouge, and then my wide spindle gouge, a badan, a scraper, a parting tool, and then the red handled one is just a rounded scraper, and then a detail gouge. So anyhow, I went ahead and roughed the blank a little bit, just so you wouldn't have to see me roughing everything down. And what we're going to start with, this end right here is going to be the ball of the scoop. And then, of course, this will be the handle. So I'll be making noise now, so I probably can't hear anything. But what I did is whatever diameter the wood is, I made that the length also. So it looks sort of square if you look at it two-dimensional. I just took a pencil and guessed at what center was. I don't do a lot of measuring. I just guess at it. And then we come back and we want to start rounding it. So what I'm going to do is just take off corners. And I'm going to take off that right there first. It just helps you round it off. Now we've got 8 sides, so I'm going to take the corners off again. And you can tell it's starting to look round. It's not perfectly round, but we're getting there. So now we're going to start thinking round. Got to give myself a little relief. Start back here and just do the same thing. This is where you get a lot of practice using your body to make something round. And then connecting the handle, we're coming in this way. Okay, you can fiddle a long time trying to make it perfectly round. I do a little scraping at the top, trying to bring that part back. And of course, it's not completely round. So I stand back, and where does it need something? And obviously at the point. That's looking better. It's still not perfectly round, but it's getting better looking. Okay. Not bad. And this is where you would stop and sand. We would sand everything from right here to right here and sort of put whatever base finish you want on it to start with. Since this will be used, I don't want any sort of finish that's on the surface. I'll use an oil or a wax. My preferred is a paraffin wax, simply because I have a free source for paraffin wax and just mix it with mineral oil and it makes it into a paste. I do add a little bit of diatomaceous earth, which is an abrasive, and what that does is it just adds a sheen to it without being a shine. And don't worry about you eat diatomaceous earth all the time, whether you realize it or not, because it's in your toothpaste. That's that abrasive stuff that's in there. And you also, if you've taken something like milk of magnesia, that's the chalky taste that you get out of it. So like it or not, you've had it. So it's perfectly safe. But anyhow, next we have to do is we have to make a move, because we're looking at it and we're deciding, what do we want left on this ball? And I think there's some green streaks in here. This is a piece of cherry, by the way. this part's very plain. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say this is the part that I am going to hollow out at some point to make the scoop. So now we're looking at it, and one thing I'm going to do is make a move on the live center side. And what I'm going to do is move the item down about 3/8 of an inch. So now we're creating something that is off center, off axis, off center. So you can see very much the wobble I created. Let's see, what's the best shot? That one I think is going to be our best shot. I go back to my spindle roughing gouge because I'm going to remove a lot of stock. And you have to do it very lightly at first because this being off axis, you're just hitting wood ever so often. The roughing gouge that I use is the one developed by Rudy Solnick. I'm sure most of you are familiar with his candlesticks. This is the tool he used to make them. You see we're getting back to where we're mostly into wood. A lot of shavings in the mouth. Now I'm into wood all the way to right there. You can see that removes a lot of wood really quickly without causing any damage. I'm getting to the point where my spindle roughing gouge may not be the best tool to use, so I'm going to go back to my spindle gouge, and it is a wider spindle gouge. It's about 1 inch, so it lets me do a little more detail work and create my handle that I'm trying to achieve. I've gone back up here, let me see, to where you can see the wobble, and I'm having to blend in the ball body into being a handle. And you can hear the sound when I'm not cutting air wood, and hit solid wood. A very nice sound. And we are doing spindles between centers, so you're obviously going to get some vibration. You want to smooth it out, and if you're very good at using a skew, this will be a great time to use it. You can do decorative work here or leave it completely flat and round because we're making a scoop that has multiple possibilities of use. Okay, I'm going to make one final cut that connects this ball to the handle. So I'm a little bit lighter with it, and you can see I'm getting shavings off of it, so it's making a good smooth cut. But when I get flat, it's still making shavings, But needless to say, it's a little rougher. Okay, now at the very end of it, that's known as the thistle. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to blend that back in. That you're not supposed to do, but we can recover from it. Okay, we got it blended somewhat back in, and okay. Again, you can use your skew right here and do fine detail and get that this slick and smooth as you would like. Just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do it, but for you to sand, you'd be sanding from right here to right here. And you can put your finish on it also.
Which camera's clear, please, sir?
Okay.
Here, right here. Yeah.
Can you see that now?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Nope, I've had to move everything around, so I'm way off on what I'm seeing. So please bear with me.
You're doing great. You're doing great, Lan.
Okay, you can see this is the part we're going to hollow, and you will notice on here that it looks a little offset in this area right here, and that's what we were going for. We have to create a little bit of meat, because if you know, since we're using split wood, the grain runs straight into here. And if you just had a ball with the stick part of it, the handle, running straight into it, that would be the weakest part possible. So what we've done is created a little decorative detail, and it lets us add a little bit of strength to it. Okay, now we're going to go back to the original center. And since we used the pointed cupped center, it lines back up really nice. You can see the ball is back to being centered, but the handle is now what is off. So we're going to finish this off and part it off. I'm going to just remove some of the waste out here. Just trying to give myself room to be able to cut into it. And I don't want it to look ugly, so I am going to do a little bit of decorative work as well. So I'm going to switch to my spindle detail gouge, and it lets me bring these pieces together on the very end. It's very obvious I'm cutting a lot of air, so I need to give myself some more room. Okay, I've run out of room, so I got to go back, give myself a little bit more. And even though I'm using the overhand grip, I do not have a death grip on this. I basically have my hand just resting on it. I'm doing all the drive and with my left hand. Of course, I am left-handed, so those of you that are right-handed, you'd be doing it right-handed. And again, you're making a cut from the air to wood and then finally solid wood, and you're trying to blend all that together. I don't want to cut all the way through because I haven't finished up the other side of the ball yet. I want to give myself enough room so that when it breaks off, it don't tear out my handle also. So I'm going to do a little bit of work there. And away from the body, I'm trying to create a place that I can come back and just snap it off and I won't be into the body. Now we're going to do the same thing at the headstock end. And don't do that. Don't get in a hurry, which is what I'm doing.
You got plenty of time.
And was there a question?
No, I was just saying you have plenty of time, Lan.
Okay, thank you. You can see the ball, I don't know if you can see it in the shadows. It's pretty close back to center, but with the flex in the wood, it's not perfectly round. That's why you wanted all that completed before right now. So you can see if I can get a little bit more room so I can work at parting this off. I'm going to slow the lathe down. I was turning about 1100 RPMs on that. Some people turn much faster, and I'm going to try to part it off here. There it goes. Well, it's still held, but it is parted. Okay, that parted off, and you would want to sand this tip and get it done. I'm not going to waste time showing that. And you remember on the tailstock end, I told you I left this room so I could just snap it off. And the same is true here. You come back and sand this to where you've created a detail on that end, just like you did up at the neck. And it sort of duplicates it. So it's pretty cool to see and creates a little bit of decorative look to it, to something that really is entirely functional. Now, we got to find some way to hollow this thing out. So let's get rid of our live center or drive center. And we're going to go to a chuck. And this is a odd way of doing things, it seems. I've taken a chuck and then I've taken the pin jaws off of the coal jaws, if you've seen those, for reversing bowls and things, and dismounted 4 of them directly onto the chuck. I guess you could put that under tips and tricks, Eddie. That would work also.
Hey, we'll use what we
this
get,
is a
man. That
Tommy
looks
bar
good.
chuck. Okay, we're going to mount this in there. And you can already see what's going to happen. We've created a helicopter. But you can see there's our X that we're going to hollow from. I don't know if you can see it, but you can now. And I'm going to tighten this up good and snug. These jaws have rubber grips on them, and they protrude out on this particular set about 1.5 inches. So you can do up to a 3-inch ball, and it wouldn't present any problem at all. And just wiggle it around. I mean, don't over tighten it. You don't want to break anything, but you also want it to stay in there. So we've got it, and it's very obvious you've got to move some things. So let's back away our tailstock, take out the live center so that we're not putting it into the elbow. We're going to move our tool rest, which now obviously becomes our defense, so that we don't stick a hand into that swirling propeller. Okay, we need to know how deep to drill. So I'm going to start with just my drill and my super expensive depth gauge. It works great. I found out exactly how deep I needed to drill. And we're just going to hand drill this, and we're going to slow way down. And once again, we're going to double check, make sure we're not hitting anything. And we're going to stay 100% on this side of the tool rest. Now, I'm using the brad point bits, and if you just put the center bit into it, what's close to center, it will pretty well self-center itself and gives you the ability then to drill. And it feeds fairly easy. You still have to clear. And it's going, and about 3 times it looks like I'm going to be able to clear it all out. All right, that looks good. So we've got our depth hole set up. Now I'm going to use the scraper on this. And this is just a standard scraper, flat top scraper. And of course you have to raise the tool rest because you want the handle pointed down as you're scraping. And we want to scrape somewhere close to center. We know we're going to scrape down to about this point right here to make it a cup. And I'm going to start it. I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to, looks like I'm going to start hollowing about 650 or so and see how that does. And I try to make all my cuts towards the headstock and towards center. What that does is it doesn't create any sideways pressure against these little grippers. Yeah, this does take time, but don't get in a hurry, because what you'll do is throw one out of there if you do. I've tried multiple things like the hunter tools and the different scrapers and cutters and things, and I've seen most of them seem to need to pull from the inside out. They do a fantastic job, but we may not have enough grip to use them all the time. So just the plain scraper does a really good job. And I've never tried a negative rake scraper. I'm sure it would work just fine. Now listen, I'm getting to a point where that first cut sounds a little bit different. You can see, let me make sure you can see. That's a little hard to tell from this angle. Let's see if that one will be any better. Yeah. I'm now out here with the rim. And so you can see that thickness on the handle that I left is now coming into play. We're going to remove just a little bit of that because I want this cup to be more open than what it is right now. So this gives me the opportunity. I'm going to rotate my tool rest a little bit so that I'm getting closer with the scraper. And of course you want to double check, make sure you're not hitting anything. So we still seem to be in really good shape. And I'm going to make a few cuts. It's going to remove some of this also. You hear the sound difference. I'm trying to just lightly go towards center, even out in the handle part, because I definitely want it to be more open than it is right now. But let's stop and take a look, make sure I've not removed too much handle. And we've still got plenty of handle left. Let's see. Okay, we've removed some more. Let's go back to that. And you can see we're almost at the top of our gripper. So that's probably as far as we're going to go rather than cut into that, because that would not be a good thing. So we've determined that that's our diameter of the opening. So now we're going to go back to just removing stock. And you can see it doesn't require a lot of movement. You're pretty well standing in one place, just inching your tool forward. And I want to leave a thickness of the rim, depending on what the final use of this scoop is going to be for, will determine the thickness of the rim. And I'll explain that once we take it off. And going all the way to the center, unlike a bowl, you're really not hurting anything by doing that now. Because on a regular bowl, you would want to complete your rim before you went all the way to center, but you can do these. I guess it's because of all the support up high. Yeah, I'm getting to the point where we're determining our rim. That's awful blurry. I guess I've lost contact there. Nope, it won't pick back up. Come on, pick back up. Okay, that's a little more clear, but I think I'm going to put you there for the last few. I'm determining my rim thickness. Okay, you can see on this one, I left it thick. And like I said, I'll explain that in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to switch back to that one because I want you to see the depth. Even though my hands and shoulders are in the way, just a little bit. You can see I've now removed all the drill marks. And I do need to stop and raise my tool rest just a little bit. It's because I'm cutting slightly below center, and that's because of how much further I'm reaching over the tool rest. Give it a spin again, make sure you're not hitting anything. So we're looking good there. We'll make the last few cuts on it. Yeah, that's, for some reason, the motion is getting in the way tonight. And all I'm doing is creating a sweeping motion And I did come from the bottom out on that stroke. Let's try to make one all the way to the bottom. Okay, we've got a good smooth bottom. And let me take a look from that view and we can see, yep, all the way. And you're able to measure, and I've got actually a little thicker bottom than I would like. So I'm gonna make just another stroke or two. So I don't know if I just didn't set my depth gauge as far as I wanted, or probably just rushing again. And like I said, I do want this one just a bit thicker. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, I'm happy with that. So we're going to pause at that point. And we're going to take it off. And let's try and get square again so I can show you what we look like. Let's go back overhead and going the wrong way there. Let's see, we'll come this way. And we've made a scoop. And it's functional completely. And it does look pretty good. Certain measurements, yeah, you could use it for that. Just make it a different size. We've got our thistle out here on the end. Is a little odd shape, but it gives you the ability to drill a hole into it and make a lanyard so you can hang this up. Now, the things that something like this is used for, bigger size, it would be used for a water scoop. Someone can dip water with it. That created the angle with what we did. You can turn it thin, drill 3 holes in the bottom, and it's now an olive or pickle scoop from a jar. This one, as I said, I left it thicker. A friend of mine wanted this scoop for using in reenactment ceremonies. He loads shotgun shells, this muzzle loading shotgun shells, and he buys his shot in bulk, and by having it heavier, you know, they're oil coated. It lets him knock it out, and then he can scoop up the amount that he wants. If you want to use it for a coffee scoop, I don't worry too much about the size because I've never met 2 people that make their coffee the same strength. So they would just use it for what they wanted to. Okay, that's a scoop.
Lan, fantastic demonstration, sir.
Fantastic.
Very
Well,
nice.
thank you.
Loved it.
Very nice.
Lan, we had a question on the dimensions of the blank you started with.
There is, on this particular one, it was a 3 by 3, roughly. And like I said, it was split wood. But by using these chucks, you can make it any dimension you want, from 1/2 inch up to 3 inches. And then I have another set of pin jaws that are, instead of 1.5 inches, they're 2.5 inches long. So you can make up to a 5-inch scoop if you wanted to on the other set. So there's no limitation. It's whatever size wood you got is the size that you would make.
Okay. And I like your idea there with the pins from the coal jaws. I finally got a use for my coal jaws now.
Well, this is a set because all mine were short on mine, and I bought them from Penn State. And right now, all they have available is the 2.5 inch. I had to buy a bunch for a class that I'm teaching, And I wanted these 1.5 inches. I do like them better because I don't want us to make too big of scoops.
Yeah.
These smaller size seem to be a more practical usage.
Right.
But
Okay.
they do have the big ones, and you can use the larger ones and do this exact same thing, but you'd need to put a plug on your jaws, on your chuck. Just make something round that would fit into the center here and would push it out just a little bit, because you want your final cut to be out close to the rim. You obviously don't want to be maneuvering tools down in between these jaws, because you are going to mess up and hit rubber, and they're aluminum, but you don't want to hit it with your tools any way you look at it.
Right.
So yeah, please go make them. That's what they're a lot of fun to make. And if you've got any buddies from Renaissance festivals to Civil War, Revolutionary War reenactors, they love these things. I have made hundreds of these for them.
Fantastic. Fantastic
And-
demo, Lan, once again.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Great job.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was
Anybody
great,
else
Good
have-
job.
Anyone else have a question?
Wide open right now, folks, if you want to
Good
talk.
demo,
you
Lan.
can.
Thank you much. Was that Birdhouse Bob?
Yeah,
That was
that's
Birdhouse
Birdhouse
Bob. Complimenting the Scoop Master,
Oh, thank you, thank you,
I'm
thank you.
telling you,
Captain Scoop Lan.
right?
Bob is-
Daggum, Dane, it looks like you already made one.
What's
Oh,
that?
yeah, my pipe. Now I got a better way of chucking it, for sure.
No, Bob can tell you, we just learned to make coffee cups this way 2 weeks ago also. So yeah, we've got another project in line. And we did copy you, Dean, at a class we were teaching at Campbell. We made the butter bale as one of our projects to go in there. So
Oh, right on.
worked out real well.
Nice. That's good to hear.
All right.
Great
thanks, everybody.
demonstration. Thank you, Lan, so much. Great demonstration, and we got some tips and tricks out of this. In fact, Woodturners, you've been really good about this tonight. You're catching on. Tips and tricks, they really work. Now you said earlier you saw something with Bray when he was holding back a piece. Was it Bray? But they were holding a piece back with a plywood pad with I call it shelf paper because that's where you get that nice rubber thing. Home Depot and
Fantastic.
Lowe's used to sell it as shelf paper. It really works great. I've got a roll of it here for my metal shelves that I put in the new shop. And it's when you get a roll, don't throw anything away, because if you're holding something in a cup chuck, if you put that, somebody showed me that cane bottom, the replacement for the soft touch, you're making contact with a soft touch. You put a little bitty piece of that rubber on there to keep it from leaving a mark.
It's router
You're
mats in
looking
here
for
in the UK,
pressure,
Eddie.
not the bite. So a lot of great tips tonight, great tips, and I really appreciate it. Now, I had promised you earlier that we would do a gallery. Well, right now I'm going to pop this gallery up. This is the things we received in photographs this week. So we're going to go to that gallery first, and I have to get it queued up a little bit, and then I'm going to press the button and go away.
You go, Dave. Wow. That is cool.
There you go, some fantastic work. And we get these photographs every week. And we use them for the gallery here and for the promo and for the newsletter. And it's in the website. It all goes in here. If you'd like to submit your photograph to us, you can send it to our website. Our webmaster will forward it on to me, or you can just cut the corner and go right to our email address, which is worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. worldwidewoodturners@gmail.com. Can't get any simpler than that. All right. We're going to go back to gallery for a little bit. And if you've got something to throw on a table, throw it on the table. And then I'm going to show you some slides, and we're going to talk to David Swain about turning wood on wood. But first, let's do some gallery, and Dane handles that. Who's up, sir?
Well, we got Roger Woolham. Roger, you still there? There
Talk
he
to
is.
us, Roger. There he is.
Oh my goodness.
I
You're
think we
muted,
heard
Roger.
you, Roger.
There you go.
Hi.
We got you.
There.
Yeah.
All right, this is a piece that I've made doing stave that's laminated together. Then I offset it when I turn it. Gives you a little different pattern. And you can't see inside, but it's just something different that I've been trying to do.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Nice
Oh,
stave work there.
That's
Nice.
gorgeous.
That looks like a good demo.
It does.
Yeah.
Really pretty.
Nice looking piece.
Very nice.
How thin are the walls?
How thin is it, Roger?
You're muted.
Looks real light.
What was that? I'm sorry.
What's your wall thickness?
A little over an eighth, maybe 3/16.
Yeah, it looks real nice. Looks light.
Yeah, it looks real light.
That's
Very
good turning.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Right.
once again, very nice.
Good turn.
Thank you. All right, let's
Thank
go
you.
to Billy Burt.
Billy, coming out the dark, sir.
I got lights on all around me. This is about the best I can do. I've got a couple of things.
Can't see your face at all.
Sorry,
Hey,
I,
look,
I don't know what to
don't
do.
complain about the good stuff.
We got I've got this Arizona ash bowl
Oh my.
that I did a couple of weeks ago. It's live edge, of course, or natural edge.
Nice looking.
And you can almost see, if you look up in here, you can almost see the curl.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can.
Yeah, the lighting is not well,
Very
Billy.
nice.
Yeah, I know.
Very nice.
And I've got
Very nice.
lights on above me.
Do you have
But
do you have a backdrop on your Zoom?
I've just got it blurred.
It's
Okay.
cool.
Let me see if oops, wrong button. Oh, well. All right.
I like
So-
it. I like the fact that your bottom
there's-
is flat on the inside.
And you can
I
see the curl. I left it flat because, well, and it is pretty flat. I didn't know what else to do with it. But there's curl on both edges, and you can see that here.
That's beautiful. It really is pretty.
And this is the first Arizona ash I've turned. This tree came down on a house in a storm 2 years ago, and I went and salvaged as much of it as I could. And
Turns good, don't it?
oh man, it turns beautifully, and
It's like butter.
it's and it finishes really nicely. It finishes better than any ash I've dealt with. And this week I built, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Bob's Frugal vacuum chuck. He sells them at SWAT every year. And I bought one a couple of years ago, and I've been meaning to put them together. It came with a 2.5 inch and a 4 inch. Well, I just did that this week. I just put the 2 videos up for me doing that. And so they're up on my YouTube channel right now, but I wanted to finish the Frugal vacuum chuck mainly so I can hold bowls like this. Very often I can just jam chuck them and finish the bottom, because I like to get rid of my mortise so that a wood turner doesn't necessarily know how I've held it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Most customers don't care, but wood turners do.
Right.
So I'm going to use that vacuum chuck, and I'm going to smooth this mortise out a little bit.
Very good.
But I did that
That's
one a couple of, thank you. I did that one a couple of weeks ago. I did this little box, and boy, it's hard to see. Let me make it easier to see. This is a piece of spalted oak, and I took some green polyester resin shavings from a pen that I did years ago, and mixed it in some blue epoxy resin. And you can see there's more down here.
Wow.
So there's resin all here, because this was just a weird looking chunk of, see if I can get it in some light. It's a really dark oak, because it's spalted. Anyway, it's really pretty. The finial, I made I got the apple a little bit too big, I think, but other than that, I'm really pretty happy with it.
It's beautiful. That is really pretty.
And thank you.
Pictures online looked really great.
Thanks. And I've got these will be done in a few days. Wow, you can't see that at all.
Is that your corn cob?
Yeah, these are the corn cob pins. This is corn cob. And this, I made a modified slimline. It's corn cob as well. I have a light directly over me. You should be able to see this.
The light's showing the top of it, not the face of it. Don't look, it looks good.
But this is a Sierra. The other one is a modified slimline. But anyway, that'll be coming down the pipe, and I'll send you pictures when I get it assembled. I'm just waiting on the lacquer to cure before I put the pin together. And that's it.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work, Billy.
Been busy in the shop. That's
looks good.
Thank you so much. And my registration for SWAT is complete. I have secured my hotel room. So those of you that are going to be there in August, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
All right. We're going to do a little impromptu meeting there.
Thanks, Billy.
We're going to have some fun.
All right, let's go to Birdhouse Bob.
Hello, Bob.
Hey,
Bob.
Hello, world. How you doing?
The hour, never sour.
This is a little bowl I did. I'm not sure what kind of wood it was. I roughed it out a long time ago, and I found it when I was cleaning out behind my grinder. Found it on the floor, so I decided I ought to finish it. And I finished that with Josiah paints on the outside, and then Minwax antique oil. And this is a piece of oak that I had. That I turned it and dyed it red, and then put liming wax in it so to show the grain off.
Wow.
I thought that turned out right nice.
Yeah, I like that, Bob. It turned out
Yeah, I
great.
think
Very nice.
this was the piece. I finished up the piece I did in the demo last.
Yeah,
last
the
week.
offset turning.
Is that
Yeah.
better? This is the piece I did in the demo last time, and I finished it off. And I hadn't done the coloring on it yet, but that's what it ended up looking like.
Yeah, it sure looks good. I like how you incorporated the tree with the ambrosia there and make it look like a landmass.
Yeah, well,
Nice.
that's what I was trying to do. And I don't know what that looks like, but my wife said it looked like a spider, but it doesn't have but 7 legs.
Crazy starfish.
I think it looks like
Might be a star. I'll tell her it's a starfish.
Yeah, there you go.
$10.
Native
American.
And this is another one I did Monday.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Love that ambrosia
Now, I
maple.
did this using a router jig. And I can show that in the tips and tricks sometime if you want me to.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Well, I was thinking I might just do a video using it and just submit the video, put the tips and tricks. Because
Yeah.
just hold the router jig up wouldn't show you too much. But I thought that would turn out. I named this one after my friend Lan Brady. And I call it Wild Thing.
I mean, because it's crooked.
Yeah, I call it Wild Thing.
Wild Thing.
Yeah,
that'll work.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Oh.
That's all I've got.
Right on.
Thank you, Bob.
Well,
Bob, we put you down for that tips and trick demo on that router. You can
Okay.
do the video and give us a video, and we can pop that up, or you can pop it up.
That's right.
You know how to do that.
Don't believe me, I got you right there.
I don't see me. Oh, I'm right here on the screen.
Look at me on the screen. I already got it wrote
I
down.
don't see you on the screen.
Hold on, let me do it. Hold on, now show them, Dane.
Bob, you're not getting out
You
of
look
it.
like Billy. Hey,
Right there.
I'm looking.
If y'all don't think I'm right,
did you
when
decide to
something needs
cover
to
up all
be
your
wrote
hair?
down.
Yeah, Dane's got him a
here,
nickname now. He's Birdhouse Dane.
I know, right? So while we're
right.
on me,
I tell you, you raised the bar too high for me.
oh no, I don't think so. But it was in the gallery. But
I know, that's
the,
cool. I like that.
Here's the little egg that I made, and then I decided to hollow it out, and make it into a birdhouse.
Very nice.
That's fantastic, Dane.
Thank you.
Oh, it's cool.
As you guys know, I'm working,
Really
I'm working
cool.
on a flat work project, and I'm not getting much lathe time in. So,
Dane, did you dye that?
yeah,
Nice
it's double
double
dyed. So it's a piece of apple, and it's double dyed with coral and yellow rit dye. And then I got a spar Verifane finish on it. And then
Very
for
nice.
my, then for
Thank
my hook, all I did was take some electrical extension cord, and I take the copper wire out of it, so it's just one strand, and then I wrap it around a punch, get it all twisted, and then I just solder it together, and it makes it all nice and solid. And then you have your nice little pretty copper ring on top.
Yeah, that's a good tip right there.
Yeah.
Didn't cost you nothing.
Didn't cost
Bob,
me
write it
nothing,
down. We got them.
just to solder in time.
You're on the list.
Is it thread in or just glue in, Dane?
It's glued in, but it's a real tight hole, and you probably didn't even need to glue. You know, I just twisted it in. The solder just finished cutting the small hole I drilled.
That's
You know,
pretty
maybe
cool.
maybe a 9/64, if that. But yeah, and it's super thin. I don't know if you
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell.
On that is awesome, Dane. That's really pretty.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
Very much.
Nice
Alo-
job.
Very nice, Dane. Along the same lines with how you made your little hanger out of copper, Dane. When I'm making Christmas ornaments, I will take I'm not sure what the metal is, but the box of Christmas hooks that you buy.
Yeah.
I'll take those and I'll straighten them out and wrap them around an Allen wrench that I have that I put in my drill and make a loop, and I just spin those up tight, and those work great. You can just cut them to length and glue them in, and they make great hangers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Good tip, Billy.
Tips and tricks this week. It's up there. If you got something to show, put it in the chat. We'll get to you and show it off in a little bit. As I said earlier, we're going to talk to David Swain about his turning wood on wood. Do we have another gallery while I check that out?
At the moment, I don't have anybody wrote down, but I got a feeling Cade's got something to show. So let's span over to Cade's shop.
Let's go to Cash's daddy.
Hey, Cade.
Hey everyone, hope all is well. I didn't turn much this week because last week I was so busy with so many demos, but I do have a couple of the examples that I showed for one of my demos I did. Here. I'll grab a handful. I was actually just dusting them all off to put them back in my finished area. Because some of them might still need another coat just so I can see myself in them. But I have a few here I can show.
Trim your beard.
All right, so here's a piece of apple.
Wow.
It was turned live edge. You can see an upside down face there.
Yeah, a little Martian head.
Little Martian head maybe over here. There's ET.
Yep, got a couple grays hanging out.
Oh, I know. Right? Bringing on the grays.
No, let's not talk about gray.
Hey, back from the camera so you can't see them. There. And then there's the inside. It was torched, textured, and then dyed. So that's why you have the variations in the color. There's almost another face. There might be like a demon or a skull.
Yeah, that's nice feathering there.
But right,
Don't
Brenda?
let
what
Brenda
do you-
talk about this one, okay?
Beautiful. That thing is just too beautiful.
I have one here that I did in blue. I actually dyed it in blue, but I didn't take into account the yellow that was in the tulip poplar. So it turned more of like an aqua green. But my wife likes it. So this is a live edge bowl, same technique, sort of torch to accent the grain. And then dyed. Oh, you can see the reflection of Zoom.
Yeah.
Looking at you. And that's turned.
That's
all
really
these were
pretty.
turned to 1/8 of an inch. And then the inside again turned out sort of teal. Matches my Irish shirt here. Irish football shirt.
That's beautiful, Cade.
That's gorgeous.
Boy, when you hold the piece up and you can see Zoom coming back at you, I think he could put a good finish on it, really.
Yeah. Here's one
Hey,
in yellow.
Katie, are you in a Billy Burt beard club, Kate?
Pardon?
Are you? Because Billy Burt says he'll trim his beard when the gas comes back down to $2. So, you know, if you jump on the wagon.
Yeah, I might do that too. Just keep growing it until the gas comes down again. But ours has spiked quite a bit. It's not quite up to $2 yet, but it's $1.70 a liter. What? So it's probably comparable to what you guys are paying.
Comparable. Yeah.
And here's one in apple I did in yellow. I really like how the yellow turned out.
Yes.
That one came out beautiful.
That's really pretty too.
You can still see the zoom.
Yeah, how many people are looking for that now?
Nope. I can see Brenda in that one. Oh, that is Brenda.
How many coats of oil have you got on them?
I don't know. I stopped counting now. I just keep going until I can see a reflection in it or see an image off my phone in it. But since it's apple, it's probably maybe 12.
It's gorgeous.
Thanks.
If I sprayed that much, I'd blow my shop up.
I don't know if I showed the one I did last week, but this is the one I did last week in that demo.
Wow.
Oh. That's gorgeous.
That's really nice.
Ooh,
I like the way the grain shows up on that.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is
What
gorgeous.
kind, what is that?
This is ash,
Oh my goodness.
the
Incredible.
one that the emerald ash borer is taken out here.
That's positively stunning.
Um,
And then died.
yeah, it was torched and then dyed. So this is the one I did in the demo, but I didn't dye it because it was too hot. And I didn't want to put alcohol-based dyes on a hot piece of wood, add fuel to the fire. So actually, this is the one I did in my warm-up right before the demo. So it was cool enough to do the dyeing because I turned it and torched it before the demo. So it was cool enough. But this is the one I did in ash and it's spalted. So that has no dye on it.
Wow.
Still looks damn good. Hope you get it.
See an alien face right there.
Dead
Yeah.
center.
Yes.
Emoji.
Yeah.
Dead center.
Hey, hey, Cade,
Yeah.
you were just saying gas up there is $1.70 a liter?
Yes.
Okay, for us that don't know what that means, I just asked. There is 3.8 liters to the gallon. At $1.70, that comes out to $6.76 a gallon for gas.
Yeah. So we're paying more up here.
Yeah, at first when you said $1.70 a liter, everybody almost fell on the floor until you figure out what a liter is to a gallon.
You're paying more, but not much more than California, I can guarantee you.
We're paying $2.20 a litre.
That's Canadian dollar too.
Ooh,
The
$2.20 a
same in
liter.
BC. BC's paying $2, $2.10 a liter.
There's 3.8 liters to the gallon.
There's 5 litres to an imperial gallon.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
We're only 3 something a gallon.
All right.
USA.
It's still high. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. What else do you have, Kate?
Not much. Actually, I have this thin one. We can show some thin stuff. These are poplar. Turned to an 8. The bark flew off, so I torched the rim. And then I just torched the outside for color contrast.
Wow. Wow.
This is sort of a set. So this is the smallest of the 3. And then this is the second largest. And I left the outside natural, the inside natural, but I torched the rim. So those would be sitting like this on display. And then the third one is larger. And I left the outside with no finish or no coloring. But the inside I blacked out. And that's just with a torch. And that is a 1/16 of an inch. They have to be very careful not to torch too much to actually torch through and color the other side, or actually to torch it and have it go up in flames.
I think that'd make a good demo of that torching.
Got one lined up.
Lovely.
All right.
Lined up.
Do you want to see the list, Kate? I think you're on it.
Perfect. That's good for me.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate it.
Keep going, but I don't want to take up too much time, so I'll let some other people share some stuff. But
That'll work,
Right.
buddy. Appreciate it.
That was
Folks,
great.
and check
Thanks,
out
everyone.
Gabe's website because he does IRDs, and they're very, very entertaining. They strives on technique and safety, and it is what we want to do here at Worldwide Woodturners. We want your techniques. We want your tips. I really like Lan's demonstration tonight, and he sort of apologized for not using a hunter tool or edge tool or whatever. Don't apologize. What you were using right there was a scraper. And my belief is if you learn what that scraper does and how it cuts, you throw your other tools away because you can turn out with a really pretty piece of finished wood. In fact, somebody asked me about dust collection in my new shop, which is here in the house. I don't have a problem with dust collection because I don't do that much sanding. My final cuts are normally done with a scraper. And when I scrape it right, I have to sand it less. And that what I believe is you cannot sand to a finished piece. You can sand a finished piece. So let's get there first into actually getting the piece finished and not saying I got to use my power sander or a heavy paper or whatever. If you cut it to the right degree, you can reduce that. I see Dane says he uses scrapers in his box making. I am working on a goblet, and the piece of wood I picked was poor. So I'm going to go back to something else. But I modified my 1/2-inch scraper from Sears, and I put a long slope on one side and slightly rounded the tip before it goes out to 90 off the angle. I can pass that down the inside of my piece and then travel across the bottom in one smooth, straight cut. I'm going to show you how to do that and how simple it is. So don't throw away those junky tools you got from Harbor Freight. They're tool steel. You can modify them and make them into something you can work with. Remember, you don't go soup to nuts with the same tool. So if you rough it in with this, when you get done, your little fine tools do your final work. Don't overpower the tools, though. Please don't overpower the tools. David, are you still with us this evening? Are you still in the pack?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
All right, I'm going to pop it up there. David Swain has created a lathe, and I've got some photographs of it, and I'm going to, while David talks about this, I'd like to show you the pictures that I have that David generated for this. Get over here to the right one. The first time I saw something dealing with this, there it is. David sent me this. David had a robust, was it David?
No, I had a Rikon lathe.
Rikon, okay. And after numerous tries, he decided virtually just to junk it and get rid of it. The right picture isn't showing up right now. Okay, I'm trying to do the share on this, and I'm still getting my original image. I hate to shut it down or lose it. But what you're looking at right now is from the end view of his finished product. And you see all those photographs on the bottom? They'll be in our newsletter in a couple of weeks. Oh, damn, I got to get that out.
You can find them on you can find them on my personal page in my photo section in an album.
Okay. David built this lathe. Built everything you're looking at right there. He's got some parts from his old lathe, his spindle and the chuck and what do you have that you surplused from your other machine?
Well, the quill and basically only the quill from the 220. The spindle is from a 7-500 Woodfast lathe that Rikon used to handle. And some pill block bearings from Granger. That was my starting point. And then with basically a mental image, I just worked from there, and the dimensions just fell into place for what I wanted. The motor and controller were both Rikon parts that were defective. I found the problem with the motor and fixed it. Found a cracked circuit board in the controller, fixed that, so I've got it working. It's all made out of plywood and hard maple. It's
Argentine plywood, right?
Pardon?
Argentine plywood, right?
Yes, it's from Argentina. It was used for making shipping crates to ship chicken fat to Campbell's soup. It's hardwood plywood. They just toss it or sell it when they get it. I got a deal and got myself a few. And the spindle pulleys I made from hard maple. And I know a lot of people think I'm going to kill myself, but everything runs beautifully. I've already turned one piece on it before I spiffed it up and painted it and everything. But Rikon motor, I replaced the bearings, got it running, fixed the circuit board and the controller. The quill is from a 220 VSR Rikon. They forgot to heat treat them. Well, I got around that. Got that working. But basically it's just Argentine plywood. I've got maple is the basic bed material, hard maple. I got hickory as my banjo extension when I want to go up to 16, 17 inches. This will support the banjo. And everything else I just scrounged.
David, the piece that is sitting on the lathe, can you hold it up so we can get a little bit better look at it? Folks, if you wonder what you can do on a shop-built wooden lathe, there it is. And that's not his finest work. He's still working on this thing, and he's rocking and rolling. But do you believe that he turned that on a wooden lathe?
Well, it turned
nice.
That is art. That is art in itself.
It turned very, very, very well. It actually, I started it as a demo as to the lathe, the way it worked. I didn't finish it. The next day I went out and said, you know, I'm going to finish this thing. So I fired up the lathe, and I'm a big fan of ancient pottery. So I kind of followed their guidelines, and that's what I come up with. And the lathe performed spectacular. For a first run, I was really shocked. It did fabulously well. And everybody was worried about it staying, you know, the center staying. You'd have to know my turning style, but I beat a lathe pretty good. And the centers never moved. They're perfect. And I couldn't be happier.
It's beautiful.
Great job all the way around, David.
Yeah, I know you. I know you're happy. I know I know the struggle that you had with that Rikon.
I'm going to send Rikon a video and tell them can I have a job as a designer?
Right.
They just went too cheap on their specs, is what it was.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think you can't build lathes out of wood. They think it's, I'm getting a lot of flack online about it, but before the days of steel, all lathes were made from wood.
Those people have,
bearings.
yeah, those people have obviously never seen the Conover lathe.
I was gonna
Exactly.
say,
I
you
used
taught Ernie.
I used to live just north of Ernie Conover, and I'll tell you what.
Yeah, Ernie's daddy built them, and I mean, those were great lathes.
I used one built in the 1800s when I was very young, and I just started in the mechanics field, and we turned diesel truck brake drums on them. Flat belt, Babbitt bearing, about 2,000 RPM, and we worked them things 10, 12 hours a day, and we never had a bit of problem. They never shook. They never had a problem with them.
Yeah.
And I've built other machines in my shop out of wood, and I won't criticize them because they don't know what the old days were like, but if you wanted to have a lathe, you build it yourself because you didn't go out and buy one.
Yeah.
Not unless you wanted a Montgomery Ward that wouldn't hold center in a million years.
Yeah, monkey wards.
Yeah.
Okay, if you ever wonder how they bring the cost down on a machine, they don't bring the cost down, they bring the quality down.
Yes.
They can just build it for less money. So if they think about the nickel and not the user, you don't have a good piece of equipment. And that's the benefit of dealing with a reputable dealer for the type of equipment you get. And I'm not going to promote one product over another. It's what you prefer, but think about the long term. Who are you dealing with? How can they take care of you? What would happen when you have a problem? Take all that in mind before you look at the nickel, because the dollar you're going to lose over saving that nickel.
Well, I've got about $225 in this lathe.
Oh man.
And it's 17-inch swing, 18.5 between centers with the chuck installed. I get a little bit more with just the drive center. It doesn't shake, it doesn't come apart. I mean, it's built to last. A lot of people are afraid of them because they're made out of wood. Well, how old are trees? And they take a lot of storms, a lot of twisting, a lot of bending, and they don't break. They might pull them up by the roots, but they don't break as a rule.
Yeah, it's just a lack of understanding of people that are afraid of that.
Yeah, well, it's a matter of understanding the stresses and the grain orientation when you build something like this. You're dealing mostly with linear stress, and it's very easy to line up the grain, which takes basically all the fear out of failure. As long as you've got good solid wood, you line up the grain, man, you can push it really hard and it's not going to twist. It's not going to explode. I've been told, don't turn anything bigger than a pen on this because you're going to get hurt. If I thought that, I would have never built the thing.
Well, David, you did a wonderful job on it. It's a beautiful piece of work. And the wood turners here looking at it are going, wow, he turned
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wooden
Well,
lathe.
I appreciate that very much. And if anybody has any questions, they can find me on Facebook. I'm on every group. And they can always PM me and I'll answer questions. That's not a problem.
Thank you, David. Appreciate you joining us this evening. And this is a beautiful piece of work. And if when do we only turn wood turning? That's wood turning on wood. It's a beautiful
Thank you.
project. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Very
very
much
much.
appreciate it. And somebody said, why don't he use a treadmill motor? That's in the plans. Earlier this evening, about 2 hours ago, we were chatting with David. He was on, and we talked a lot more about this project. And he's got a treadmill motor coming, and then he'll adapt that motor to that converter, and he'll be right back where he wants. But he does say that he doesn't turn very much over 2,000 RPMs because he can get the job done at that speed. So if you think, well, if I crank that motor up to 3,000 RPMs, have this, how often do you do that? So stay within the realms of what you can turn and how you can turn it. I keep talking about when you sand, you got to bring the speed down. When I'm sanding, I bring my speed down to maybe 320, maybe 350. I don't have a meter or a number. I just got to look at it and say, okay, that's slow enough. But if you have a mini jet and it doesn't go below 500, what does that mean? You can't sand? No, you work with what you have. Don't get hung up on that. But they do make variable speed motors for mini jets and all the knockoffs of them. And you cannot make your capacitor motor variable speed by putting a variable light switch on it. No. Don't do that, no, please. Don't do that. You'll make the paper tomorrow if you do that. All right. And Bob in Texas says, I'd like to hear more about using treadmill motors. We're going to work on it for you, Bob, and put that in our tips and tricks package and see what we can pop up with. Because of anything else, that's where we're trying to go. We're going to go back to gallery in 1 second. Let me remind you, members, even new members, we do not have a membership list or a membership roll or a published list of all the people that are part of this club because it's worldwide. But if you'd like to be on our contact list, that's right, contact list, all you have to do is send the information you wish to our webmaster, David, and you put that on our gallery, on our chat. Just go to the chat and say, hi, I'm David Swain. This is my Facebook page. Here's my email address or my phone number or my address or whatever. Any information you wish us to place on our contact list will be there. We don't do commercials. But anything you wish about you going on our contact list, it's easy. Put it in our chat. David takes it off the chat before he puts it online, takes it off the chat and puts it in our contact list. You go to our website under contact, and there's a place that says members list. Click it, fill out the form exactly as it requests. The instructions are there. When you get the subject, you have to put in the word captain, CAPTAIN. But remember to put the phrase in and unclick the box. It tells you to do it. And then we will send you, within moments, the contact list is current at that point. Now, David brings in the information, edits it, and puts it out there as fast as he can. And I tell you what, folks, for having a world's finest wood turning website, David does a pretty good job, and he does it pretty efficiently. So, in fact, these demonstrations you're seeing tonight will be on our website. Give him about a week. He moves all the stuff from this. He's got to edit it. He has to get it together. I was looking at it today. See, it's been a week since last Wednesday. I was looking at it this morning, and there's segments of the meeting. He breaks out the demonstrations. There's segments of the meeting that he breaks out individually, and he puts them on YouTube, and he puts them on our website. So you can always follow up on a meeting. And if right now you're following up on a meeting and you want to be part of something or add something or whatever, all you have to do is put it in a little note. We have a thing to contact you on the website, and we'll get back to you. We'll use it, we'll help you out, give you a phone call if it needs to. That's what we do here at worldwidewoodturners.org. We have got 24 minutes before we pull the plug. And I know we got a handful of gallery out there. Dane is going to call them up when he introduces you. Start talking, and then we can find you. Who's up?
Well, we're going to go to our demonstrator tonight. We're going to go back to Lan. Hey, buddy.
Hey, am I on there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just thought I'd follow up. Had a couple more pieces. This is the exact same piece, but without a handle to it. And it looks entirely different, but it's exactly the same. It just has no handle. And
That is nice.
It's real interesting because when you set it down, it'll
pull it back
rock.
towards the
It
tool rest?
won't turn over. Whoops, you can't
It's
see
out
it
of
there.
camera. There you go.
There we go.
Oh,
But
cool.
it'll just rock like that.
Oh, I gotta make
And
me some of them.
following again, the same thing, I mentioned that we were trying to make coffee cups out of them. And here's one that we made to start with. And yeah, the handle's a bit bulky, but it is a coffee cup. I mean, you've got a handle to hold it with. So I'm working on downsizing that to where it'll be appropriate. And of course, making the cup larger as well. But it's really cool, the things you can make with it. Because again, a strap through that, and it's something neat to hang on your belt.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Lan.
Thank you, Lan. Appreciate it. Boy, that was a great demonstration tonight, folks. Member on member, and he does some teaching for clubs and other groups. And he mentioned a school he's with, and I missed it. I'm sorry. I can barely remember my name. In fact, who in the hell is this? I mean, who is this?
Look at the head on that guy.
Man, that's shiny.
I wasn't expecting you to spotlight me. But
Well,
Hey, I got an idea for you.
I thought
Hey,
maybe you
Doug.
would have something for gallery.
What's the rank of this lady officer?
Major General, so MG, Mike Golf.
How many stars is that?
2.
All right. It's been a
Be
while.
my little general. Isn't that the way it goes, Chief?
Be my little general, that's correct, yeah.
Be my little general.
All right. So are there stars gold or silver?
Gold.
All right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Or Spice Brown, because it's the Air Force, but
No, not on the blues.
that's true, on the blues.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
actually
my dad's
heard
Army,
her.
or what can we say?
Yeah. Anyway, I did throw her the correct way to spell her name in the chat a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Right. You have something to show on gallery tonight, Chief?
So this was the bowl I started making last week that I did. I turned a lot of this on Facebook Live. I just basically hadn't finished it yet. So this is one of the 2 pieces my commander gave me at my change of responsibility. So somewhere there's the other piece. So basically what I'm going to do is on the bottom, instead of putting my logo, I'm going to put the dates that we were in command together. Him as the commander, as the first sergeant, and then he's going to keep one and I'm going to keep one. That's going to be my gift to him. His gift to me was the wood, so it's kind of worked out pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he winds up on the plus side on that.
I don't know, but we all love turning wood, so I kind of
absolutely. No, that piece he's going to love. He'll cherish that, Doug.
I sure appreciate that. I had a lot of fun making them, so.
I love the shape of that second one you made there. Love that. shape.
Hey,
All
Doug,
right, Doug, thank you.
My wife says if that shiny head thing is a problem, you can always powder it. But whatever you do, don't powder it with baking powder. The dog won't
No,
leave
that
you
don't
alone
work.
if you do that.
Or you can throw a bandana on.
There we go.
I made a few pens today. The Duchess pen. This one is olive wood.
Oh, look
from
at that.
Bethlehem.
Pretty grain.
And there's another one from Bethlehem on olive wood.
Very nice.
It was just very easy to turn. And I got 2 of them that I turned out of something that I just started turning with, and it's called Kentucky Coffee. Don't know if you ever heard of it or not. It comes from the Kentucky coffee tree, but it's got some nice grain to it. It's just dark.
Yeah.
Does it smell like coffee when you're turning it too?
And those are
Does it
Duchess
smell
pens
like
with Swarovski crystals in them. I have a arts and crafts sale this weekend with the Elks Club, so I figured I'd make a bunch more. What's happening at the end of the sale? I've got probably somewhere between I would say between 50 and 100 pens that I bring out to whatever sales I go to. And the slimline pens, I'm not going to hold on to anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them to the worldwide word turners for the armed forces. There's quite a few of them to go, and I'll just want to make sure that they all work properly before I send them out. So that's going to be happening in the next week or two.
Oh,
Very
nice,
good.
Gary.
Thank you, Gary. That's a great move. Very nice. And those are
Appreciate it.
beautiful. Now, 3 times somebody asked, does that coffee wood smell like coffee?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Is it actual coffee
He had
tree?
Kate all worked up. He was going to drive to Kentucky.
I know. Get some coffee wood.
All right.
All right. Well, let's go to
So,
Joaquin.
so does that throw caffeine all over your
It's
shop while you're
not-
turning it?
Nope. Somebody forgot to lock the door because look who popped in.
I
Hey,
know.
Cap, how you?
Just
At
keep
least I got a
getting better.
reputation, I guess. This is a piece of mesquite that it was one that was cored. I didn't mean for it to be this thin, but in coring it, it had a big old groove down here. So I had to match that thickness. And it almost turned into a funnel, but successfully got lucky and done.
What do you have on it for a finish?
This has 2 coats of lacquer, 50/50, and then it's got the Hampshire sheen on it as a wax.
It's beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Nice job.
Yes, you can see the zoom in it again.
Good looking piece of Texan walnut.
So this time of the year, April, Easter, our club makes Easter eggs, turns Easter eggs for the Children's Hospital here. And this is a batch that I've made of different woods and of all kinds I have out there. But we also make them just plain Jane where the kids get to paint them. And it's one of our big events. We've probably got about 150 we turn into the Children's Hospital for them to either put in a basket or to work with, paint. And so I thought I wanted to go to a little extreme. I've got a friend, he does illusion bows and such. And I thought, well, why don't you do an illusion egg? So I come up with this one here. It's about 3 inches in diameter.
That's cute.
Well, that's really cool.
Wow.
But it took about 8 hours to do because I sanded it off 3 times and redid it because I never could get a pattern all the way around it. It looked good. And it's a lot of work. I really don't care for doing the painting. I don't mind making them. And I had done a box once before. I didn't do the beads on this. I just put the grooves in there and had squares. But, and you got to have odd numbers here to get a pattern. And this one was even numbers. I really couldn't do anything with it to make a pattern and ended up with what it is. It is what it is.
That is cool.
That looks great.
That's cool looking. I like that.
There's a pattern in it not having a pattern.
There you go. But let me show you what they're supposed to look like. This is what my friend does with them.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Uh,
And then the matching.
and that's all about a 1/8 inch bead. And so now I make the platters and he does the painting. I don't
Yeah,
care
that's
to
a
do
good
the
trade.
painting anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And I don't, he's pretty quick at it, but it's a lot of wood burning. He wood burns each one of them beads going across it like so. I just
Wow.
use a wire. But anyway, that's what I got for tonight.
Right on. Thanks,
Thank you,
Joaquin.
Joaquin.
You bet, Cap. Dane, y'all do a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Now, we had Doug Rowe on a little while ago. We were chatting about the Major General and stuff. If you had missed the early part of the meeting, Doug Rowe is going to be leaving the Army on the 23rd of April. And he does some of his retirement thing is going to be on Facebook Live. And we'll give you more details as it approaches so you can join them and the time frame and all. We'll have all that on our site. But Doug is trying to get a purple ink pen with blue ink. Now, it can be purple hard, that's hardened out. It can be acrylics. It can be stains. It can be metal with stains. Blue ink is important. It's for Major General, and her name, Major General Kerry Molenbeek. Molenbeek? Yeah. Major General Kerry Molenbeek, and she's heading up this project, and Doug would like to present her with a purple pen, blue ink. If you can help us out, the contact address for Doug Rowe is in our chat right now. Save the chat. Or just go to our website. On our website, we have the addresses where you can send ink pens that you make for Freedom Pens directly to the Army, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, etc. We have them all covered. It's on our website. And I just found out, it's time for me to find out, that we just added a new section on our website, and it is called Safety Moment. Our webmasters created this. I just found out it was there. I got to go look at it in a minute. The link to it's on our chat. But that's one of the portions of things that we collect here. We have tips and tricks. So if you have one, and we received a lot of them tonight. Tips and tricks of what you can do, how you can change things, how you can hold things, planning, painting, wire burning. And we've tonight, Dane, our gallery and demo master, probably picked up 10 live leads for demonstrations. So if you have somebody if you have an idea for a demonstration, Dane's the guy to talk to. Go to our contact list, But if you miss all that, go to our website and leave a note, and we'll forward the note to Dane, because we're not going to miss a chance. Oh, Jim Selby in Jacksonville, Florida, reminded me that the Navy's still working at being a military thing too. They got all kinds of boats and planes and stuff. But we also covered the Navy. I forgot to cover them a minute ago. It's bad enough I got beat up for being an Air Force guy with the blue ink. 10 minutes. Air Force. If it wasn't for the ammo troops and Air Force, it'd just be one ugly damn airline. All right, we've got time for a few more gallery pieces. 11 minutes, we pull the plug. If you like to get in and show something, jump in right now. I see a couple of names on Dane's list. Who's up?
Well, we got Richard. He's got a question. Or an
Go ahead,
idea.
Richard.
Richard, talk to us.
I see him. Talk to us, Richard. What's he doing?
I don't know.
Watching
All right,
Jeopardy?
well, we're gonna go back to, let's see, let's go to Glenn.
Yeah, and maybe Richard will catch up with us in a minute.
I'll try shooting him a message.
Drop him off. Get Glenn up.
Hey, Glenn.
There he is.
Hey, how are y'all today?
All right, Glenn, what you got, bud?
Well, I had been turning some little flowers, some little bud flower. Here's a little tulip. This one's out of cedar, and so I made some little bud vases for them. These are out of ash. Then I had done another one out of ash, and then this flower's out of maple, and this one is out of walnut.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then I had another one. I did another one out of mesquite.
Ooh, love it.
And then this flower here too, I was turning, this one's out of mesquite. It was gonna have the petals like so, but getting it thin and mesquite doesn't bend, so they all flew off. So
I like it that way.
So that ended up like that. It kind of looks more like a poppy.
Looks like a wish flower.
It looks like a tulip that got munched on.
Yes, by the
All right,
rabbit.
Brenda, jump in. Brenda, what's it look like?
Looks like a flower.
I like it.
Thistle.
Nice job,
All right,
Glenn.
that's all I got.
Thank you,
appreciate
Glenn.
it.
Looks good.
All right. Let's go over to Pennsylvania and let's see what Randy's got going on here.
Hi,
Randy,
guys.
you with us? Talk.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, your name moved on me. There we go. Now I got you.
This is, if anybody, if Doug, if you would like this one.
I see a purple pen.
Yep, that's a purple haze.
Now, it has a black ink in it at present, but that's easily fixed.
Swapping them out.
And I have a second one.
Another purple haze.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I believe those would work, Randall.
Okay.
Heck yeah, thank you so much.
I will see if I can, I'll get out some blue ink fills and put them in there and I'll send them off to you.
Right on.
Thank you, Randall. Boy, jumping through hoops
Man,
tonight.
you're
aren't we?
quick. That's great.
I just found them in my stash.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Are we back to Joaquin again?
That's awesome.
Well, let's see. Looks like Richard took his video off. I guess Richard doesn't have anything.
Okay, here's the deal. If you have something to show and you place, in the note in the chat, I have something to show. When Dane introduces you, you need to start talking. We have 77 folks in the meeting right now, and we have to look at this chicken board and pick you out of there. Once you start talking, it gives us.
People
it's
come
a
in
cheap
and out.
program we're
names-
using.
their
Okay.
names change. Yep.
And it's easier for us to find you that way. And we don't want to miss anybody, don't want to cut them off at anybody. And we pretty much welcome everything every woodturner in the world wants to share with other woodturners in this world. This club is 2.5 years old because we're proud of what we do and how we do it. We've got one of the finest woodturning websites in the entire world. We've got a fantastic webmaster. We produce a monthly newsletter featuring the photographs we receive during a month. We put promotions on Facebook and YouTube. We post our meetings and our demonstrations and anything else onto our website. We're not secretive about it. You don't pay to be in this club. You don't have to pay to be in this club. You won't make you join. There's no commitments. And the beauty of it is every single week, I'm just like Dane. Every week I come away with more and more items I need to look at, talk about, cover, look up. I mean, I got a list of about 10 things here I need to look up that members mentioned. And then I have to go and save the chat every week. I just did it because I want to be able to look at it on my computer tonight or tomorrow. And that's all part of being worldwidewoodturners.org. Doug Groh wants to hang his hat up.
Yeah,
I
he
think
sure
that's
does. He's
the
got
thing.
something pretty nifty. So let's go back to
Oh,
Doug
that's
here.
what he's got. Okay, I thought he wanted to hang his hat up as a woodturner.
There
Put
we
it
go.
on your head, man. Wow.
Yeah, get my camera around with that icon. Go, there we go. So some of you saw this on Facebook already. I posted it, but I needed a coat rack in my shop to hang up my smocks and my aprons, and I just cut down a neighbor's dead tree the other day, and thought, well, what the heck? Instead of buying one at Costco, we'll just make one.
Right.
So basically, I just took the tree, took apart another broken office chair on wheels, and yep, that's my coat rack.
Yeah, boy. IKEA sell that for $275.
In a kit, you got to put it together.
Yeah,
Doug,
right.
You take that down to Scottsdale and you get $2,000 for it, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Anyway,
The thing looks short.
what's that?
That thing makes you look short.
No, I actually am short.
Right. Hey,
Right
folks,
on, Doug.
members, you see the backdrop? Go back up, Dane. Put that backdrop back up. Doug, let's go back to Doug. Okay. Doug, can we see what you just had behind you when you showed the tree rack? Go back to, all right. Members, do you see what's on the wall back there? And how he's got that laid out in his tool compartment. Now he's got his coat rack and such. Doug wants to know what yours looks like. He wants, how do you put your tools away? How do you store your tools that you use every day, or the tools that you have to keep around the shop? Where do your hoods and your shields and your dust masks go? And here's jackets and his smock and all that hanging up. Doug said, when we started talking tips and tricks, how do you do this? Make it a tip or trick. Show us your shop. Show us how you lay out. Show us your dust collection, your power. Yeah, look, there's a first aid kit on the wall back there. That's my wife gave me for my birthday just recently. What do you have in your shop? Let's share all that information, and we'll do it on tips and tricks. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I've got actually a video tour of my shop that lasts like 15 minutes that I made a couple of years ago. You guys want to watch that sometime?
All right, we'll make it. We'll put you on a list and see what we come up with.
Sounds good.
Neville Scott.
Yep.
I got him.
Yeah, all right, you got him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Scott's been real good. He's scheduled for another demo later on top of the demo he's already scheduled to do. So
yeah,
he's a great contributor.
Well, that's what we look for, members who want to be involved. And I know I beat that drum a lot, folks, but that's what we're here for, to get involved. Well, we're coming up on the end of the hour, and the top of the hour, pardon me. And we normally pull the plug at 9 o'clock Central Time each Wednesday evening. We come back here again. Some weeks maybe a little bit earlier than 6 o'clock Central, a little bit earlier. But we all get together, jump onto the tailgate of the truck, and start telling them about wood turning. So if you'd like to join us, come back next week. Bring a friend. Pass the word, share it. And when you see our gallery items and our promos, et cetera, online, feel free to grab it and share it to the group that you're with. Feel free to, there are no restrictions, limitations. It's people showing you how much they enjoy wood turning, just like I do.
Hey,
again,
Eddie.
Thank you so much, sir.
Eddie, on the last promo that you posted on Facebook, can you make that to where it's shareable?
It's not shareable?
No.
It's a promo. Am I missing pushing a button? I'm gonna have to look at it.
I can call you after, Eddie, and I'll walk you through it on how to do it. It's just where you're going to click, and instead of just choosing you'll choose public, and then we can all share it.
Yeah. Yeah. Normally they've all been shareable before, Eddie. So maybe you just missed saying okay on something on this one.
Boy, this is terrible. I got to get the Army to bail me out. Choo,
yeah. Hey, I'm having trouble getting on Facebook group with y'all. For some reason, it's still pending a request.
Hey, you figured out, tell me how you made billions of dollars. Oh, wait, I gotta leave that alone. All right. With that, folks, good night, John Boy. Be safe.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Don't say
Good night, everybody. Have a great week.
Have a great.
Hey, Eddie.
Stay safe.
Eddie, don't say goodnight yet. I got to
yet.
tell you. Having eye surgery again next Wednesday. I had it the last. Extremely painful. You probably won't see me next week.
Oh, Sarah, best of luck on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll keep you in our prayers, that's for sure.
Thank you very much.
They're actually taking. You do get on next week. We will see you. You just won't see us.
Exactly.
Yeah, at least you can hear us.
They're cutting away part of my cornea, so it is painful, and that's why you
God, I'm
seen me the
sorry.
last couple of weeks. So
That's making me hurt to think about it.
it hurts me thinking about it.
Oh, I bet. I know. And you've already had it done once, right?
Yeah, it's, but you
Oh,
know, they
God.
told me to be extremely uncomfortable. So when I saw the doctor today, I said, you hate the 4-letter word, PAIN, don't, I said, be more honest next time.
Right.
But anyways, I miss you guys. I haven't seen you in a few weeks, and God bless you guys. I really enjoy Wednesday
Oh, yeah.
night.
God bless you, girl.
Right back at
Best,
you.
best of luck.
Absolutely.
We'll be thinking about you.
Thanks, guys. Take care. I love you guys.
Hey, Susan.
Susan, you can at least listen to it.
What was that?
You can at least listen to it next week.
Yeah, you can listen in. You can listen with your eyes closed.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
It'll
I
be
just
like
like
an old school radio.
Hey, Sue, you can imitate Mark Soleil.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, gang. Good night. It's time to pull the plug.
Good night.
And be safe.
Talk to you
Bye-bye.
later.
Bye, all.
Bye now.
Night all.